Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Beast familiar for all. Perfect evolution of Queen Medusa at the beginning. Chapter 1. Zhongcheng Number 1 High School, Class 2, Senior 3. I'm so nervous, I'm going to wake up today. Yes, please bless me to awaken. Even the lowest level of F is enough, otherwise I will become the most inferior person in the city, and I will only be able to earn a living after working hard for the rest of my life. It would be great if my family had money. If I could buy a bottle of strengthening potion, I might be able to awaken successfully. Quote. In the classroom, a group of boys and girls were discussing in low voices what they had awakened today, and everyone had an uneasy and nervous expression on their faces. In the last row, Shu Li raised his head slowly and looked at the scene in front of him. It took him a while to digest the information in his head. He crossed. Before time travel, Shu Li was just an ordinary high school student on the earth. He was struggling for the upcoming college entrance examination, but his physical strength could not keep up with the exhaustion. Came here when? According to the information left by the original owner of the body, this is a parallel world similar to the earth, but different from the earth. Everyone in this world has the opportunity to become a beast. Only by becoming a beast successfully and becoming an awakened one can you have the strength to fight against the monsters that will appear at any time and take back the captured city. Hundreds of years ago, strange beasts suddenly appeared one after another. They multiplied rapidly, were huge in size, extremely destructive, and carried out a large-scale and cruel massacre of human beings. The weapons manufactured by human civilization are not very lethal to them. Many cities fell in an instant, and the number of human deaths exceeded 400 million. Everywhere you look, there are ruins, and the world has become a hell for human beings. All these changes will start with the emergence of the awakened ones. The confrontation between the awakened and the alien beasts gave humans a chance to breathe. They built new cities on the ruins, set up defenses, and established a new system, providing people with a place to live and work. After 100 years of precipitation, human beings have divided them into 9 grades from F to SSS according to their strength. And each level also has a small realm of 1 to 5 levels. The survival of mankind depends on the blood of the awakened, and the awakened have great privileges in every city, and the stronger the awakened, the higher their power and status. For 100 years, many people have expected that they can soar into the sky on the day of the awakening ceremony, change the fate of the family, and become a strong person that everyone looks up to. The city where Shu Li lives is called Zhongcheng. In Zhongcheng, every 18-year-old boy and girl will have a class-based awakening ceremony of their own. And today is the turn of their class to wake up. I heard that Zhou Zeding, the goddess school bully in the next class, has successfully awakened, and the animal pattern is a B-level golden red scorpion. B-level. The goddess is worthy of being a goddess, but she has directly awakened the B-level animal pattern. Didn't she just pick the 3 colleges randomly? What do you know? The goddess's family is rich, and she usually drinks high-level strengthening potions like water. It's strange to awaken a B-level. That's good. There is a student in Class 7. His family went bankrupt and spent 100,000 yuan to buy a strengthening potion on the black market, but he drank it to death. I heard that his parents cried for 3 days and 3 nights, so this thing it depends on fate. The students talked to each other without paying any attention to the footsteps coming from outside the classroom. The sound of footsteps was very even and steady, and it sounded like someone with a little skill could walk out. The person coming outside was probably an awakened person. Shu Li looked towards the door slowly, and a man in his 30s came in, wearing a black hard suit, who came from nowhere, with blood and killing breath all over his body. Following the man's entry, this terrifying aura filled the classroom, causing the students to quiet down and hold their breath subconsciously. This man was very imposing. When he came to the classroom, he just glanced at the students who were panting and dared not speak out, and then took out a stone surrounded by black gas. On the surface, it looks like there is just an ordinary stone inside, but it makes people looking at it feel like they are looking at thousands of beasts, and a sense of fear rises from the bottom of the students' hearts. When all the students were overwhelmed by the man's aura and the fear brought by the stone, there were hurried footsteps outside the classroom. Their homeroom teacher was late. Seeming to have noticed the strangeness of the students, the beautiful class teacher pushed his glasses, barely resisting the discomfort emanating from the man, and said with a smile, "Students, this is the awakened one who is here to test you." The man stood on the edge of the podium, and slowly said, "My name is Shen Tianji, AB3 Awakener, and I will be in charge of your awakening this time. Next, you will take the test on stage one by one according to my registered name. B3, the B-level third order awakener, is undoubtedly the strongest among the strong." The awakened person named Shen Tianji didn't talk much, and he just did one thing. As soon as he finished speaking, he picked up the list handed over by the head teacher and read it. Li Min. The girl who was called turned pale in an instant. A huge pressure swept over her. Her heart was beating violently, as if it could jump out of her chest in the next second. Li Min took a deep breath, got down to the front of the podium with the support of his deskmate, looked at the black stone, and put his hand on it nervously. The classroom fell into silence, and everyone was looking at the ugly black stone on the podium that could determine their fate. After more than 10 seconds, there was no change in the stone. Shen Tianji seemed to be used to this kind of situation, expressionless, said, "Unsuccessful awakening, next one, Wang Yu." When Li Min heard the result, her legs went limp and her eyes went dark. If it wasn't for someone supporting her, she would probably be kneeling on the ground now. If the awakening fails, you can only be an ordinary person in this life. Yes, can I try again? Unwilling to be reconciled, Li Min gritted his teeth suddenly, and Doda's tears fell from his eyes, and he looked at Shen Tianji beggingly. But Shen Tianji's indifferent eyes responded to her. Under the guidance of the teacher in charge, Li Min was helped down by her deskmate, and when she returned to the desk, she seemed a little lost. Immediately afterwards, there was a low cry in the class. The tense atmosphere reached its peak, and the failure of awakening gave all the students a blow, because everyone may be the one who failed. They used to think that this kind of thing was far away, but now that they saw it with their own eyes, the students knew how cruel it was. If there is no successful awakening, this life will be over. Afterwards, several names were reported in a row, all of which failed to awaken. Seeing the faces of the students who were usually playing around at the moment, all the students who had not yet accepted the ceremony swallowed subconsciously. Shen Tianji turned over the list, and still shouted without a trace of emotion. Next, Shu Li. Hearing Shen Tianji call his name, Shu Li could only bite the bullet and stood up, walked to the podium, his arms trembling slightly. "It would be a lie to say that I am not nervous. Shu Li has just traveled to this world and is about to face the assessment that will determine the trajectory of his life. He is somewhat nervous." Shen Tianji glanced at him quickly, stared at Shu Li for a while when he saw that Shu Li was a little calmer than the other students, and then said in a businesslike tone, "Just put your hand on the rock." Shu Li had no way out, he could only take a deep breath, and then put his palm on the stone. In an instant, the black gas lingering around the black stone turned into dazzling gold. Although it was only that one piece, the brilliance of the golden color was beyond everyone's imagination. The head teacher who was closest to Shu Li was also blinded for a moment and closed his eyes tightly. At the same time, the homeroom teacher was shocked. If she closed her eyes one step slower, her eyes might be lost. There must be an extraordinary person born. The heart of the beautiful head teacher is beating wildly. Yesterday, a B-level awakened person appeared in the next class. The head teacher of their class was directly promoted to the grade teacher. Not only that, he also got 1,000,000 rewards. All of this made all the class teachers jealous and greedy. They also looked forward to a senior awakened person appearing in their class, but how could it be so easy to meet a high-level awakened person? She just thought about it, and didn't have any hope. However, when the golden light lit up, the head teacher had a strong premonition that her 1,000,000-level bonus might have hope. At this time, the only one in the class who did not close his eyes was Shen Tianji. When he saw the golden light, Shen Tianji's complexion was not as joyful as imagined, but began to become a little dignified. As someone who has experienced it, Shen Tianji clearly knows that for a scene of this level to appear, the awakened one must at least be a B level. But B is not so easy to awaken. The higher the level of awakening is often accompanied by the threat of destroying the mind. He almost failed to survive the awakening back then. The horror of it can only be understood by those who have experienced it firsthand. So advanced awakening is not as glorious as it seems, and how many people become fools or die on the spot every year for this. Shen Tianji stared closely at the golden light. After a while, a small dark blue snake appeared from the golden light, and in the blink of an eye, it walked along Shu Li's finger on the stone to Shu Li's arm, slowly forming a snake-shaped totem. With a gudong, Shen Tianji swallowed. If he was not mistaken, the one who came out just now seemed to be Medusa. Although it looks like a small green snake now, Shen Tianji knows that Medusa is Medusa after all, and when it evolves into a complete form, it will become Queen Medusa. At that time, that would be a truly earth-shattering existence. The snake-shaped totem seemed to be alive. When Shen Tianji stared at it, it seemed that the snake was also looking at him. Shen Tianji was shocked. Generally, the totem after awakening would be like a dead thing. When did the totem appear alive? And the level of this snake completely suppressed his totem, giving people a feeling of suffocation. Simply unheard of. Could it be that there are still living totems? Soon, Shen Tianji dispelled this absurd idea. From ancient times to the present, there is no such precedent at all. At the same time, the snake-shaped totem gradually penetrated into Shu Li's skin, and the totem on the surface of the skin also disappeared. At this point, the awakening ended and the golden light dissipated. All this happened in an instant, and the students also woke up from the trance that was struck by the golden light. What was it just now? I thought I was going blind. It's not obvious yet. Someone in our class has awakened. My God, Brother Shu is awesome. Shish, stop talking, be quiet, and listen to what grade it is. Can you surpass the B grade in the next class? This is a bit difficult. How can B level be so easy? On the podium, the beautiful class teacher also stared nervously at Shen Tianji, waiting for his answer. Even an ordinary person can see the extraordinariness of this awakening ceremony. The other students don't know, but she, the class teacher, is very clear. There was not such a big battle when the B level awakened yesterday. Shen Tianji spoke lightly. His voice was a little trembling when he spoke. SSS level, Queen Medusa. SSS level, Medusa, the students exclaimed. Oh my God, SSS level. I actually stayed in the same class with the SSS level boss for 2 years. I can go out and brag about this for the rest of my life. Brother Shu, what does it feel like to awaken the SSS class? Do you feel that your whole body is full of strength, and you wish you could kill a cow with one punch right now? Medusa, the legendary queen who can control all snakes, Medusa. SSS level awakenings are rare, and Medusa is the top of the top. The beautiful teacher in charge trembled all over, and took a few seconds to react before taking out her mobile phone and running to the corridor outside the classroom to call the principal. She must tell the principal the news as soon as possible. There are only about 100 SSS level awakeners in the world, and every SSS level awakener is an existence that can shock the entire Zhongcheng. Shu Li, who knew the result, was as surprised as the students present. Although he had read a lot of online novels and knew that a traveler must wear a golden finger, he did not expect that the golden finger was so big. He was given a top-level awakening ceremony at the beginning. Wouldn't it be possible to take it easy in the future? The appearance of the SSS level awakener dispelled the students who had been shrouded in dark clouds of awakening failure. The next awakening was much better than the previous one, although in the end, apart from Shu Li, only one C level awakened in the class. Shen Tianji closed the student list and put away the awakening stone. He should have left at this point, but he stayed in the classroom and walked to Shu Li's side without haste. The surrounding students were all overwhelmed by Shen Tianji's aura, and even the C-level student began to break out in a cold sweat. And inexplicably, when Shu Li felt that this aura overwhelmed him, he didn't feel as uncomfortable as before. Could it be the reason for his successful awakening? Shen Tianji frowned and looked at Shu Li, speaking a lot softer than before. Can I ask you a question? Consult. AB3 awakened would actually ask for advice to a newly awakened. This was too shocking. Even though the students were under pressure, they could still hear Shen Tianji's words, which meant that they didn't have the energy to raise their heads to express their surprise, otherwise the classroom would explode again. Shu Li also frowned slightly. He himself didn't know what Shen Tianji needed to ask him for advice. But since Shen Tianji asked, Shu Li couldn't refuse, so he said, I don't dare to ask for advice. Just ask if you have any questions. I may not be able to help you. Hearing Shu Li's answer in such an unassuming and humble manner, Shen Tianji's affection for Shu Li increased greatly. He has seen many awakened people who drifted away after awakening, and some even didn't recognize their parents. Still the first one. This time, Shen Tianji finally agreed with Shu Li from the bottom of his heart, and slowly lowered his stance. How did you manage to resist the spiritual attack of the awakening stone and retreat completely? As far as I know, the chance of an 18-year-old boy being able to withstand the mental attack brought about by SSS level awakening is only 5%. Shen Tianji looked at Shu Li with complicated eyes. This is definitely not something that ordinary people can do. Could it be that Shu Li has some special way to solve it? If it can be solved, it will be of substantial help to human beings. If you master the method, then the probability of successful awakening for advanced awakeners will be greatly increased in the future. Shen Tianji would never have believed that an 18-year-old boy is linked to the rise and fall of human beings, but now he can only hope that Shu Li will have a solution. However, Shu Li just shook his head. I don't know about mental attacks, and I don't feel anything when I wake up. When he woke up just now, Shu Li really didn't feel any mental oppression, but Shen Tianji gave him an uncomfortable feeling when he first entered the classroom, but that feeling is gone now. Is it because he traveled through time, so he is immune to mental attacks? You don't feel anything. Shen Tianji stuttered a bit when he spoke. How is it possible? Even the lowest F will feel a little discomfort when awakening. How can the SSS level be fine? Shen Tianji didn't believe Shu Li's explanation at all. During the 100 years since the appearance of the awakened, every awakened has inevitably suffered more or less spiritual attacks, and no one is immune, and Shu Li is naturally no exception. Of course, there is also a possibility. Does Shu Li not want to tell him this secret? After all, having this was one of his trump cards. Shen Tianji looked at Shu Li with a serious expression. Student Shu, I hope you understand that what you have now may be very important to us humans, so I hope you can confess this matter. If Shu Li still pretended to be deaf and dumb, Shen Tianji planned to use the last method, which was also the last method he wanted to use, and that was violence. Enough. Shu Li was about to give the same answer when he heard a low voice coming from the door. He turned his head and saw a middle-aged man with a protruding belly in a white shirt and suit pants. And their class teacher followed behind the middle-aged man in a regular manner. This middle-aged man is the principal of No. 1 High School, surnamed Liu. Principal Liu walked in unhurriedly. The flesh on his face trembled as he walked. Mr. Shen, the awakening ceremony is over. Thank you for coming to our school to help the students awaken. In order to express our gratitude, we have prepared the best accommodation arrangement for you. Please rest with us for a few days. After finishing speaking, the head teacher took a step forward, not giving Shen Tianji a chance to refuse at all, and cooperated. Mr. Shen, let me take you away first. You see, you are an awakened person after all, and the students are somewhat afraid of your aura. Shen Tianji glanced at the principal, then at Shu Li who was sitting on the seat, and finally flung his sleeves and left the classroom with resentment on his face. With Shen Tianji's departure, the atmosphere in the classroom eased up, and the students took a few breaths, as if they had been held in the water for a long time and were finally able to breathe fresh air. Finally able to breathe, it's killing me. Yeah, but the awakened is indeed an awakened. I think Shu Li has nothing to do with him, and he can still talk directly to the awakened. If it were me, I would probably be scared to death. No, it shouldn't have anything to do with the awakened. Don't you think Lin Wen is also an awakened? Her complexion is only a little better than ours. Can it be the same? Lin Wen is only AC level, and Shu Li is an SSS level. Can this be compared? The students all looked like they had narrowly escaped death, and they were somewhat terrified. But Principal Liu called Shu Li into the office, and looked at him with admiration. Ha ha ha, you are Shu Li, right? You have awakened the SSS level Queen Medusa. Shu Li nodded. Yes, Principal. Hiss. Hearing Shu Li's affirmative reply, Principal Liu took a deep breath. When he got the news just now, he still didn't believe it. Now that Shu Li personally admitted it, he felt a little authentic. SSS level awakener. There is actually an SSS level awakener in their school. With Shu Li as a signboard, their school's enrollment and funding will increase several times in the future. They, Zhongcheng No. 1 Middle School, have been beaten by other middle schools for several years, and they finally rose today. Seeing Principal Liu looking at him as if he was looking at some treasure, Shu Li's scalp felt numb, and he couldn't help but want to stagger his gaze to the side. This awakened the SSS class to be different, and even the principal, who was not usually visible, smiled at him and accompanied him. Principal Liu also finally noticed that he was too excited, restrained his expression, and said with a smile, "Since you have awakened the SSS level, then you will choose a school. Do you like the 3 colleges?" The 3 colleges, that is, Imperial College, Modu College, and 17th National Alliance College. These 3 academies have been established the longest and have the highest quality resources. They are the paradise that all awakened people yearn for, but again, the threshold for such schools is extremely high. According to the enrollment standards of the 3 colleges in the past, only students with grade C or above will be eligible for admission. After entering the college, students will be tested every year. If they fail the test, they will be expelled at any time to reduce the waste of resources. If it was Shu Li in the past, he would have never dared to think about the 3 courts, but now Shu Li has the right to oppose the election. This is the privilege of SSS rank. Shu Li pondered for a while. I wonder if the principal can introduce me to the 3 colleges. The 3 courtyards are very mysterious, and they have very little contact with the outside world, so there is not much information that Shu Li can know. But the principal is different, he will know much more than himself. Sure enough, the principal showed a remorseful expression. What did you call this? I actually forgot to introduce it to you. The strengths of these 3 colleges are very strong and average. It can be said that they are a tripartite confrontation. However, the development directions of the students of the 3 colleges are very different after they come out. In the future, most of the talents of the Imperial College will stay in the cities and become senior guards in various cities to prevent sudden beast hordes. They will almost all develop in the form of small teams. Modu College is more inclined to cultivate students with strong personal strength. In the future, after graduation, they will be sent to fallen cities to rescue survivors and regain our lost land. The last 17th National Congress is different from the previous 2. The talents inside belong to the free-range model, with a high degree of freedom. After finishing their studies, most of the students will join the guild and become employers. This is also the most profitable for the awakened, one of the industries. After finishing speaking, the principal seemed to think of something again, sighed, and added, "Oh, the young people nowadays, for some reason, are all running to the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China. They are all young, but they all look like money lovers. Same, you know, what's the use of asking for money if your life is gone?" In recent years, with the gradual stabilization of human life, the Imperial Capital Academy and the Modu Academy have gradually become lonely. On the contrary, the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, which has not had any splashes, has become popular. The annual death rate of students in the 17th National Congress is the highest among the 3 schools, but the students also earn the most. This thing is like gambling. If you take a mission, you will get a high bonus if you complete it. If you fail, you may face serious injury or even death. Every year, in order to prevent students from pursuing excessive tasks, the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China will conduct strength assessments for students every once in a while. Only when their strength reaches a certain level can they accept the corresponding tasks. Even so, the number of student deaths in the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China is still high. But even in this case, there are still many students who choose the 17th National Congress regardless. Shu Li thinks there is nothing difficult to understand. Now that the society is stable, people have changed from the need for survival to the need for material things. Cars, houses, money, status, etc., everything confuses people's hearts. Just look at the students in Shu Li's class. They were obviously instilled with the idea that, becoming an awakened person can become a superior person and get rid of inferior status, which largely caused the students to end up with choose the 17th League. The principal felt that he had talked too much, so he stopped talking about this topic, looked at Shu Li again and asked, "Are you interested?" In the headmaster's heart, what he hopes most for Shu Li to go to is the Imperial Capital Academy. With SSS level guards in the future, it will definitely become a great source of support for the residents of the city. For example, Liucheng, which is the closest to Zhongcheng, has a SSS level awakener sitting in their city. No matter how many strange beasts the Liucheng has encountered for decades, it can still stand safely on this land in the end. This is all thanks to the SSS level awakener. After hearing the principal's introduction, Shu Li couldn't make a decision for a while. Whether it is the imperial capital, the magical capital, or the 17th National Congress, it is too far away for Shu Li, who has just traveled here not long ago. He needs time to digest it. Make a decision later. Seeing the tangled expression on Shu Li's face, the principal realized that he was a little too hasty, and quickly said, "Forget it, just think about this matter yourself. If there is anything you don't understand, feel free to ask me. Go back first." Shu Li breathed a sigh of relief, and left the principal's office with the detailed information booklet of the 3 courtyards given by the principal before he left. Influenced by the previous experience on Earth, Shu Li is also more inclined to the 17th National Congress, but now Shu Li is a little hesitant. In this world, with SSS level status, he no longer needs to worry about houses, cars, and gift deposits. He can use his status and strength to do more meaningful things. Defending cities and reclaiming conquered lands, each makes Shu Li's blood boil. Considering the pain of awakening failure and the joy of awakening success, the school stipulates that the class that performed the awakening ceremony that day can go home directly after the awakening, without having to stay in school to attend classes. So when Shu Li returned to the classroom, there was no one there. He simply packed up his things and prepared to go home. On the other hand, after Shen Tianji was kicked out of the school, he immediately contacted his trade union and briefly explained the situation about Shu Li. "Can you avoid the mental attack when you wake up?" Chairman Yu Chunshan's astonished voice came from the phone. "Are you sure? This matter sounds too absurd." If Shen Tianji was not brought out by Yu Chunshan, and Yu Chunshan clearly understood Shen Tianji's character and ability, he would doubt whether Shen Tianji was crazy. How could such a thing happen in the world? Shen Tianji said seriously. "I'm sure, he resisted the SSS level mental attack when he awakened, and his face didn't change at all, as if he really didn't feel the spiritual attack, so I suspect he has a unique method." After saying this, there was a long silence on the phone. Just when Shen Tianji thought that the president had hung up, there was a blast from the phone. "You mean SSS level?" Shen Tianji was startled by this scream. His expression was a bit confused. "Yes, it is SSS level, and the one who awakened is Queen Medusa." On the other end of the phone, upon hearing Shen Tianji's answer, Yu Chunshan slapped the table, his voice raised several decibels. "A SSS level awakener, the one who is still awakened is Queen Medusa. Then what are you talking about here? Have you recommended our union to him?" No, let him enter the 17th National Congress first, and then we'll get someone over from the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China. An SSS level is in front of you, and you still have the mind to care about whether you can avoid mental attacks. Didn't recommend the 17th National Congress to him." Shen Tianji was stunned on the spot, and his whole body petrified in place. He has been under Chunshan for so many years, and he has never seen such a handsome president lose his composure. After being scolded by the president, Shen Tianji also knew that this time he had picked up the sesame seeds and lost the watermelon. No, he didn't even see the sesame seeds, and he regretted it. It took Yu Chunshan a while to calm down and sat back on his chair. "Don't spread the word about this matter. When the colleges recruit students, I will ask the dean of the 17th National Congress to recruit him in person. You can also help me give him a sentence first. As long as it is his request, 10. The 7th National Congress must be satisfied. If the 17th National Congress cannot satisfy, our trade union will pay for it ourselves." Yu Chunshan's performance was enough to show that he was serious this time, so Shen Tianji didn't dare to neglect, and quickly agreed. The trade union is rich and powerful, which makes Yu Chunshan speak so confidently. And this also shows that an SSS level awakener is enough to make all unions and academies crazy about it. In a few days, the fact that Shu Li is an SSS level awakened person will be known to all the trade unions and colleges, and there will be another crazy upsurge of grabbing people. However, Shu Li, the protagonist who caused all this, has already returned to his small rental house. Just as he opened the file of the 3rd courtyard, a voice rang out of thin air. "Congratulations to the host for successfully binding the pet evolution system. This system aims to help the host upgrade the existing totems and obtain more advanced beasts." God Pet Evolution System. Shu Li's hand holding the book trembled slightly, his pupils shrank slightly. This is the legendary system. Before time travel, Shu Li had read many novels, so he was naturally very familiar with the system. Shu Li was overjoyed when he heard about the system. Could it be that he not only awakened at the SSS level at the beginning, but also got the system? This golden finger is too big. While marveling, a mist that only he could see appeared in front of Shu Li's eyes, and after the mist cleared, a light blue screen was displayed with a few lines of words arranged on it. Basic information. Pet list. Evolution space. To be unlocked. Shu Li clicked on Basic Information without the slightest hesitation, and a series of information appeared in front of him. Name. Shu Li. Mental power. 117. Physical fitness. 10. The last part of the information is replaced by an ellipsis, and it seems that there are other basic information to be unlocked. It's just that mental strength and physical fitness are only given pure figures, and the data of normal adults are not given as a reference. Shu Li doesn't know whether he is strong or weak in these two aspects. As if sensing Shu Li's doubts, the sound of the system rang in his ears at the right time. According to the big data response, the average spiritual power of existing humans is 63, and the average spiritual power of awakened people is 87. The average physical quality of existing humans is 7, and the average of awakened people is 10. Shu Li was quite satisfied when he heard about his mental strength. His mental strength far exceeded that of ordinary awakened people, but his physical fitness was only at the average level. As a time traveler, Shu Li inexplicably felt that he had humiliated the time traveler. Immediately afterwards, Shu Li clicked on the pet list and a dark blue snake that was only as long as Shu Li's palm appeared in front of him. Although the little snake is small, its body is flexible and soft, but the scales covering the top are sharp and hard, shining brightly under the blue fluorescence of the screen. Is this Medusa? Shu Li observed the little snake carefully. The little snake seemed to be sensed, and flew over obediently in the air, and landed on Shu Li's hair. Shu Li couldn't laugh or cry. He used his hair as a nest. As the little snake moved, changes began to appear on the layout. Pet. Queen Medusa. Level. SSS 1. Experience value. 0.001. Status. Juvenile. System prompt. Medusa is highly poisonous, and if bitten by it, both ordinary people and awakened people will die in a very short time. Queen Medusa can control thousands of snakes when she becomes an adult. After reading the basic information of Medusa, Shu Li was shocked, and was able to control all snakes in the world when he became an adult. But how to get experience points? This time the system didn't answer him. Shu Li was a little depressed, and opened the evolution space with doubts. A light blue space of 1 cubic meter appeared in front of him, and it could be zoomed in and out according to Shu Li's request as if it was spiritual. Basic information about the evolutionary space is also beginning to emerge. Evolution space. After pets enter the space, they will upgrade in units of 2 hours, and each upgrade will get 500 experience points. Experience. Shu Li's question was answered. Now Medusa only needs 1000 experience points to evolve to SSS 2, which is 4 hours. Come in. Shu Li commanded Queen Medusa to enter the space. Looking at the little snake in a light blue space, Shu Li discovered a hidden danger. If the experience value required this time is 1000, next time it will definitely be more. If thousands are acceptable, but if millions or even hundreds of millions are required, then the role of this space will be very small. Just when Shu Li was worried, the system thoughtfully answered his doubts. System prompt. The evolution space can be upgraded with special items, and the system will remind the host in due course to prevent missing precious items. See evolution space can be upgraded. Shu Li is determined. Click evolution space again, and the blue cube disappears from view. The system prompt sounded in his head. SSS 1 Medusa begins to evolve. Progress 2 o'clock. After finishing all this, Shu Li heaved a sigh of relief, closed the board, and sat on the sofa. In his pocket, the phone kept ringing. Shu Li took the phone, and there were dozens of missed calls on it, all of which were unknown numbers. And it's all the same. All his attention was on the system just now, and he didn't even notice that the phone was ringing. Shu Li was hesitating whether to call back, when another call came in, and it was the unknown number again. Hey, As soon as it was connected, a strange voice came from the phone. Hello, are you Shu Li from Zhongcheng number 1 middle school? Shu Li became vigilant. How did this person know his identity? And got a phone number. It can't be some criminals, can it? Before I had time to think about it, the person on the phone continued. Don't get me wrong, we are not suspicious people. This is the admissions department of the 17th National Alliance College. We have learned that you are an SSS level awakener. I wonder if you have interested in learning more about our school. Shu Li raised his eyebrows, knowing that he is an SSS level awakener. The information leaked out so quickly. No, if it is leaked, it is unlikely that only the 17th National Congress will call. Could it be that someone outside the school leaked it? Shu Li thought of the awakener who tested for them today, Shen Tianji. Could he be someone from the 17th National Congress? Shu classmate, are you listening? Shu Li was unmoved by the words of the admissions staff at the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, pretending not to hear, and hung up the phone directly. Among the three courtyards, the 17th National Congress is the last thing Shu Li considers now. He is more inclined to be with Imperial College and Modu College. On the other side of the phone, the director of the admissions department was hung up suddenly, and he didn't come back to his senses for a moment. Ever since he took the position of director of the admissions office of the 17th National Congress, others have always come to the door with gifts, hoping to send their children to the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China. No one has ever dared to hang up his phone. Just as he was about to explode, the director of the admissions office lost his temper when he thought that the other party was an extremely rare SSS level awakener. News came overnight from the headmaster today, ordering them to tie Shu Li to the 17th National Congress even if they were kidnapped, and they must not let other colleges snatch it away. Especially Imperial College and Modu College. This year, the three colleges have an all-elite exchange competition, which is aimed at freshmen and some old students, in order to obtain corresponding resource allocation. Their 17th National Congress is bound to win. So Shu Li is the most important part of it. If other academies take it away, their victory will be hopeless. The director of the admissions office smiled wryly. Yes, it seems that I have to ask for help in person. Inside the rental house, Shu Li read the admission requirements of the three colleges and the resource allocation within the college, and finally set his sights on the Magic City College. After excluding the 17th National Congress, compared with the Imperial Capital, Shu Li likes the Imperial Capital more, and the latter is more free than the Imperial Capital. The Imperial Capital requires 7 students to form a team from the first semester. Start training. And the training system in Shanghai is similar to that of colleges on Earth. There are courses and students are given a lot of free time. For Shu Li, who has just traveled here, he prefers Shanghai. After making up his mind, Shu Li felt hungry. Since he came out of school, he has been busy with the affairs of the three courtyards and the system, and he hasn't had time to eat dinner yet. The house that Shu Li rents is in the suburb of Zhongcheng, which is close to the high city wall. It only takes 5 minutes for Shu Li to walk from the gate of his house to the gate of the city, and the gate of the city means danger, because he does not know where the strange beast would break in from the gate of the city, causing the residents to panic. Therefore, the housing price here is also the lowest, suitable for Shu Li, an orphan. Come to the food stall below the community. There are quite a lot of people here at night, drinking and eating skewers together in 2s and 3s. It seems that there is no difference from the earth. Shu Li found a seat and ordered some food within his budget. That's right, checking the budget. After arriving at this body, Shu Li found that this person was very poor, and all his belongings were only 517 yuan. The SSS level seems to be able to get a lot of rewards, right? While eating, Shu Li remembered that even awakened people can get corresponding rewards, so his SSS level rewards will certainly not be less. System prompt. SSS-1 Queen Medusa's second evolution is complete, current level, SSS-2. Just after eating, a system notification sounded in Shu Li's head. After 4 hours, his Queen Medusa finally evolved to SSS-2. It's a pity that there are too many people here, otherwise Shu Li must release Queen Medusa to have a look. Today is to celebrate Ji Yu Liang's successful awakening. Come on, everyone open up to eat and drink. A table not far away was full of people, not only their table, but from a distance, the surrounding tables seemed to have the same group of people. Not only Shu Li, but many people were attracted by the words, "Successful Awakening." Ji Yu Liang, you awakened a D-level stone wall monster this time, but you gave our parents a face. After you enter the Awakened Academy, and then join the Union after you come out, then our family will flourish. Yeah, I said before that this kid, Xiao Ji Yu, will be promising in the future. What do you think? Awakened. I heard that only 17 of them have been awakened in their school, right? Quote. A group of people surrounded an 18-year-old boy, toasting him non-stop, boasting hype. Shu Li shook his head with a smile. At the level of D, you can't even see the door of the third courtyard, but it is a good thing to be able to awaken these days. With the identity of an awakener, no matter what you do in the future, it will be much more convenient. At this time, the proprietress of the food stall came to Shu Li's side and gave Shu Li another dish of skewers. Shu Li was taken aback, looked at the plate full of fried skewers, and said in surprise, "Boss, I didn't order these." The proprietress saw that there were not many customers, so she sat down with a smile. "These are for you to eat. You are going to wake up recently, right? How is the situation?" After Shu Li's parents were killed by a strange beast, Shu Li has been living in this suburb all the time, and he is also a frequent customer of the food stall. He has a good relationship with the proprietress, and the proprietress had a son before, who went to the Awakened Academy after awakening. As a result, within 2 years, news of his death came back. So to a certain extent, the proprietress regarded Shu Li as her half-son and took good care of him in many ways. Shu Li felt warm in his heart. A SSS-level Queen Medusa has been awakened. The proprietress obviously didn't believe it, so she gave a "bah" and said with a smile, "You kid is still fooling me. If you didn't awaken successfully, you didn't succeed in awakening. You even joked with Aunt. Failure to awaken is not a big deal, even if you are an ordinary person. It's not that I can't support myself. Look, Aunt, I'm fine." Shu Li knew that no one would believe what he said, so he lowered his head and began to play seriously without arguing. The proprietress thought that she had hit Shu Li's mind, and continued, "Now these young people go to those awakened colleges as soon as they wake up, and they all die at the hands of those strange beasts in the end. Let me tell you, it's okay if you haven't awakened, you come to me to help, and when I'm old and can't do it anymore, this stall will be yours." Knowing that the proprietress came here to comfort him, Shu Li nodded cooperatively without saying anything. "Ma'am, bring us another case of beer." There were shouts from the guests in the distance, and the proprietress responded quickly and rushed over to get the beer. "Blood, so much blood. My God, that man has a lot of blood on his body." Sir, are you all right?" At one of the food stalls, a group of people who came to eat gathered around a man, looking anxiously at a young man who was bleeding all over his body. "What happened to him?" "Don't panic, call an ambulance." System prompt. A mutated awakened person appeared next to the host, forcing the first mission to be triggered. System task. Subdue mutant awakeners and protect the safety of residents. The system's voices sounded one after another, and Shu Li just understood all the information when he walked to the crowd. Sure enough, the bloody young man had the words, "Variation Awakened," in big letters on his head. Shu Li also heard the term mutation awakening when he was in school. It seems to be an awakener who is younger than 18 years old, or younger than 18 years old, who has not gone through the awakening ceremony and awakened himself. This kind of awakened person is generally unable to withstand the mental attack brought about by awakening, and there is no tester to guard them, and most of them will eventually degenerate into terrifying existences that are no different from beasts that torture and kill humans. Get out of the way. This person is a mutation awakener, and he will be awakened soon. Everyone, hurry up and leave this place to me. Among the most blatant group of people just now, the boy named Ji Yu Liang stood up staggeringly, looked at the bleeding man and said, "Isn't it just a mutation awakener? See if I won't accept you." "Yes, Ji Yu Liang, let everyone see the strength of your awakened ones." "Wow, can you see the awakened one today? I haven't seen the awakened one yet." The residents stood on the periphery, looking at the little Gu and the mutant awakener they were talking about, and some even picked up their phones and started filming out of curiosity. The initial panic dissipated due to the appearance of the awakened, but the danger has not dissipated. "Look, what's that?" Just as people were talking, a strange beast appeared behind Xiao Jiyu and the Forced Awakener. Behind Jiyu Liang is a very common stone wall monster. The stone wall monster moves slowly, but its outer wall is hard. It is also a good monster in the D level. In contrast, a gigantic leopard appeared behind the Forced Awakener. This leopard was many times more injured than what Xu Li had imagined, and it was surrounded by a black aura, with faint red eyes shining. Light. Just look at it and judge. The residents also saw something was wrong, and each of them became nervous. Do you think Jiyu Liang looks much weaker than that person? Someone forced a smile on his face and said, we are not awakened ones, so we can't talk nonsense. Whoever said that if you are big and look fierce, you will definitely win? As the man spoke, he didn't even have confidence in himself, and his voice gradually weakened. Sure enough, in the blink of an eye, the stone wall monster was bitten by the leopard and thrown out without any power to fight back. With a bang, the stone wall monster landed among the onlookers and almost hit them. At this time, Jiyu Liang was finally sober for the most part. Looking at the mutant awakened who was close at hand, his face turned pale. No, don't kill me. This mutated awakened person is definitely at the B level so that he has no power to fight back. Jiyu Liang looked desperately at the leopard running towards him. He was the closest, and he must not be able to escape. Unexpectedly, I finally awakened, and I haven't had time to go to the Academy of Awakeners, and I haven't had time yet. Before Jiyu Liang finished speaking, the leopard rushed to Jiyu Liang, and the moment it opened its mouth wide, a smell of blood and rancidity filled the air. Jiyu Liang, the residents exclaimed. They were so frightened that they couldn't walk. They stood there straight, motionless. Tragedy is about to happen in the next second. Xu Li, what are you doing? Just when everyone was about to close their eyes, the proprietress saw a figure flashing past. Who is that person if not Xu Li? A frequent customer of the proprietress' eyes lit up, and asked next to him, why did that kid charge up? Is he an awakened person? The proprietress was so anxious that tears were about to fall. Where is he an awakened person? He is just an ordinary person. Hurry up, is there anyone stopping him? The proprietress cried out in grief, but no one stepped forward to stop her. Just when everyone thought that Jiyu Liang and Xu Li would die in the mouth of the leopard, Xu Li threw Jiyu Liang down suddenly, and at the same time a snake the size of an adult male's arm appeared in everyone's sight. The whole body of this snake is blue-gray, and every scale exudes an ancient and decaying aura. The snake suddenly appeared, and without the slightest hesitation, it swung its tail and hit the leopard's body, and the sound of whips slapping the skin and flesh was immediately heard in the air. The scene in front of them made everyone gasp. The huge leopard was still ruling the life and death of others one moment, but it was beaten in half the next moment. From the place where the snake's tail hit, the leopard was forcibly divided into two halves, and fell lifelessly to the ground, never to get up again. Facing the leopard's death, the Forced Awakener also suffered a backlash, and with a scream, it turned into a pulp and rotted on the ground. The smell of blood filled the air. With a sound of gudong, the residents watched all this helplessly, from the initial shock to panic, and there was a burst of vomiting near the food stall. At this time, the little snake slowly swam to Xu Li's side, and it was coiled in Xu Li's hair safely, as if it had found a nest. But the little snake has grown up a lot. Xu Li felt his head sink. My God, this is a strange beast. Isn't this young man an awakened one? Then what kind of awakened is this? Can he split a leopard in half at once? Where is this snake? How powerful are snakes? Even AD level Xiao Jiyu can't solve it. Seeing that his strange beast can be solved at once, it looks very relaxed. At least it is AC level, right? I think it's AB rank. As for the proprietress, regular customers looked dumbfounded. Madam Proprietress, didn't you say that he is not an awakened one? The proprietress shivered twice, and was speechless for a long time. Here, Xiaoshu told me just now that he is an SSS level awakened person. How could I believe that? I thought he was joking with me, but he was not awakened. How could I know that he is an awakened person? Really awakened? The regular customer dropped his jaw in shock and stammered, Miss Boss, what did you say just now? He said he was an SSS level awakener. The proprietress was also a little flustered at the moment, and smiled wryly. It seems to say so. My God, it looks like our suburb is going to be famous. On Xu Li's side, Ji Yuliang's parents hurried over and pulled Shu Li and Ji Yuliang up. Ji Yuliang's face was pale now, his legs were a little weak, and he almost couldn't stand up. After being stunned for a moment, he suddenly yelled, "Am I dead? Am I dead? I haven't entered the Academy of the Awakened yet. I haven't made a lot of money yet. I haven't gotten ahead yet. Ha 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 ha, I'm dead. That leopard is going to kill me." While talking, Ji Yuliang pushed the person next to him away like crazy and ran away. Ji Yuliang's parents chased after him bitterly, "My child. My son." The residents were all overwhelmed. They were happy to celebrate their son's successful awakening, but now it seems that their son is not stupid or crazy. It seems that the awakened one is not so easy. If I have to fight against that kind of thing in the future, I might as well be an ordinary person. Many residents actually began to feel a little thankful that they hadn't awakened at the beginning. Someone also came to Shu Li's side curiously, looked at the little snake on Shu Li's head, and asked, "Are you an awakener?" Shu Li nodded lightly. "Wow, this time our suburbs can be regarded as long-faced. This is an awakened person. Ji Yuliang just now is also an awakened person. There have never been so many before. Student, what level of awakener are you?" "Yes, classmate, please tell us, we haven't seen such a powerful awakener like you until now." The residents surrounded Shu Li, and everyone looked at him strangely. The suburbs were originally called suburbs because there were almost no awakened people, so awakened people were more difficult to appear here than strange beasts. "You want to know? If you say it, I'm afraid you will be scared to death." A man walked in from the crowd. He was a regular customer of the proprietress just now. Seeing his confident appearance, the residents asked curiously, "What level is it?" "Listen to you, at least it's a B level." "B level, is it too high? I think it's C level." The acquaintance heard these speculations, shook his head pretending to be mysterious, and said slowly, "He is SSS level." "SSS level, true or false? You are not lying, are you?" The residents didn't believe the words of this regular customer. Even the ordinary people in Chengdu knew how rare the SSS class was, and no one would believe that the SSS class would appear so easily, and it was still in this ordinary suburban area. "Why don't you go and ask that classmate just now?" the regular customer said and turned his head away. "Student, tell me, are you SS?" Everyone turned their heads, only to see that Shu Li, who was surrounded by people at first, had disappeared. With the end of the awakening of Class 2 of Senior 3, the awakening ceremony of the entire Zhongcheng number 1 middle school is also over. According to the regulations, Zhongcheng number 1 middle school needs to make statistics and report the results of the students within 3 days. The enrollment of the major awakened academies will also start immediately after the announcement of the results. On the second day after the results are announced, all awakened academies will hold an enrollment ceremony at the Zhongcheng City Gymnasium. Awakened students need to bring the certificate issued by the school to come here to register. If they meet the school's standards, they will be admitted. Direct admission. Today, there are 2 missing students in Class 2 of Senior 3, one is Shu Li and the other is Lin Wen. Students who have not awakened need to stay here to attend classes, prepare for the college entrance examination, and find an ordinary job in the future. Outside the Zhongcheng City Gymnasium, all major schools have placed their school logos, and marked the specific enrollment locations of their schools on them. Shu Li walked around but couldn't find the enrollment signboard of Shanghai, so he couldn't help frowning. Not only Shanghai School, but even the other 2 colleges didn't have signs hanging outside. Do the 3 colleges have other enrollment methods? Shu Li was inexplicably a little anxious. If he missed the admissions of Magic City Academy, it would be terrible if he couldn't go to university. Is it possible to just find an ordinary college to sign up for? In the past, Shu Li might have resigned himself to finding an ordinary college to study, but it's different now. He awakened to the SSS level. Putting an SSS level in an ordinary college, even if the college uses all its resources, it will not be able to cultivate such a behemoth. So Shu Li has to find the highest schools as much as possible. The enrollment site was crowded with not only students, but also parents. It was so crowded that Shu Li soon found it difficult to move. Isn't it just that the quality is a little bit worse? As for rejecting it so simply, Next to the admissions office of a certain unknown college, a little yellow-haired man patted the dust off his body, as if wanting to dust off his bad luck, cursing. The admissions said that you can sign up with a D level. In the end, I went to pick and choose, and actually said that my little squirrel is not of good quality, it is really hateful. Shu Li was pushed here by the crowd, and finally stopped. You came here to sign up too. Little Wang Mao glanced at Shu Li beside him, his eyes full of scrutiny. Almost all the people hanging around in the lobby on the first floor are below sea level. If they are sea level and above awakeners, then go directly to the second and third floors. The better the academy, the higher the floor. Shu Li shook his head. Do you know where the admissions office of Modu Academy is? The little yellow hair didn't react, and said casually, oh, Modu Academy, aren't they in Modu Academy? Halfway through the speech, Xiao Huang Mao's eyes widened, and only now did he digest what the high school student opposite him was talking about. Are you looking for Magic City Academy? Xiao Huang Mao glanced at Shu Li up and down. The sound was not low, and many people heard that the Modu Academy looked this way. Magic City Academy is one of the 3 major colleges, and it is occupied by almost all the upper-class people. The upper-class bosses can buy the safest and highest-level strengthening potions for their children, and it is said that the highest-level strengthening potions can help humans directly become A-level awakener. So almost all those like them who need to come to the gymnasium to sign up are awakened people below B-level. Now when someone said that they wanted to apply for the Modu Academy, many people unconsciously looked at Shu Li with a sneer on their faces. Someone directly laughed jokingly. Now there are really everyone who doesn't know anything and wants to join the third academy. Do you think that the third academy can enter if you want to? I think he gave up on himself, that's why he wanted to try his luck and take a gamble. I just saw a brazen applicant sign up for the third academy in the morning, and the result was AC. There was laughter all around. They were all sea level and below. They couldn't get into the 3 colleges, they could only get into these ordinary small colleges, so naturally, they stood aside and laughed at the exception of Shu Li. The little yellow hair didn't think it was a big deal to watch the excitement, and asked, I said classmate, what level are you? Everyone looked at Shu Li, waiting for Shu Li's answer. Of course, many people wanted to wait for Shu Li to tell the result, and then laughed at him. Shu Li frowned. If he said that his level was SSS2, then these people would not only not believe him, they might even think he was a lunatic. Seeing that Shu Li didn't answer for such a long time further verified everyone's thinking. He is a low-level awakener, and now he is ashamed to reveal his achievements. Xiao Wang Mao shook his head. Since you don't tell me, let me ask you, are you AC level? Shu Li's silence was cowardly in the eyes of everyone, and some people speculated maliciously beside him, could it be that there is no C? Ah, not even AC. Then why are you looking for the Academy of Magic City? That's right, isn't it good to go to an ordinary awakening academy like us? Some people think of themselves as lofty, thinking how great they are, but they are actually just a puddle of mud, and they still want to go to the Magic City Academy. I think he is lucky if he can get into a good awakening academy. There were also people who persuaded, student, why don't you just apply for a school here? The third courtyard is too far away from ordinary people like us. Everyone's ridicule rang in his ears. Shu Li turned black, but he didn't want to argue with these people. After he went to the Mordor Academy, these people were just passers-by who had met him once. He can't afford to be angry with these people. Shu Li. Just when Shu Li was trying to find a way to leave, a girl from the crowd rushed out and came to Shu Li's side. Shu Li, why are you here? The person who came was Shu Li's classmate, Lin Wen. Shu Li's eyes darkened. I'm here to sign up. Doesn't it mean that all colleges recruit students here? The corner of Lin Wen's mouth twitched fiercely. Are you serious? This is only the enrollment place for ordinary colleges, so the 3 colleges are naturally not here. I've already signed up. How about? I'll take you there. Others don't know Shu Li's grades, but Lin Wen knows it clearly. This person is a proper material from the third courtyard. When Lin Wen saw Shu Li here just now, she thought she was wrong. The 3 colleges have their own enrollment locations, and they are not mixed with these third-rate schools. I don't know why Shu Li didn't know about this matter, but came here unexpectedly. Before Shu Li had time to express his gratitude to Lin Wen, Xiao Wangmeo's voice sounded from the side. There is still a lunatic like him, take him to the admissions place of the third courtyard. Does he have the strength to get in? Lin Wen didn't know anything about what happened before, but the strength of Shu Li's level is unquestionable. Wasn't she being rushed to recruit at the enrollment point of the third courtyard? Now when she heard what Xiao Wangmao said, she glanced at Shu Li with a strange expression, and then at Xiao Wangmao again. She probably guessed what happened, but Lin Wen didn't know why Shu Li didn't explain. As long as he revealed his identity, then how dare these people mock him like that? Let's go first. Lin Wen wanted to take Shu Li away from these people, but there were many people laughing around her. Looking at the current situation, they are disgraced and left here without a face. Watching Shu Li and Lin Wen go out, Xiao Wangmao sneered and said, "It's really not the same in the world, any cat or dog can dream of entering the third courtyard." Lin Wen quickened her pace. Now she was very afraid that Shu Li would be irritated by this little yellow hair who didn't know how to live or die. An SSS level awakener like Shu Li has no actual combat experience yet, but if he releases a top-notch monster like Queen Medusa, those awakeners of sea level and below sea level will not be able to stand it. The coercion exuded. Amidst a group of sarcasm, someone exclaimed inappropriately, "This is the director of the admissions office of the 17th National Congress, Wang Zishang." Why did Director Wang from the 17th National Congress appear here? Could it be that he came to recruit students? How is it possible? The 17th National Congress has its own admissions location. Besides, how could it be possible for Director Wang to recruit students here? My father sent him a lot of gifts, so he wanted to send me in through the back door. He just didn't like it. People are not people who can look at low-level awakened people like us. Then why is he here? This question caught everyone present, and they all stopped what they were doing and looked at Director Wang. If such a big event happened, they would have already thrown the registration matter out of the blue. Maybe this Director Wang came to find him. Everyone here is at the same level, everyone has a possibility. If you can enter the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, it will be a matter of great success. Everyone's heart thumped wildly, and they stared at Director Wang without blinking. However, Director Wang just glanced at them hastily, and then looked elsewhere. As the director of the admissions office, it couldn't be easier for him to get Shu Li's information. Director Wang knew Shu Li through photos. Look, now he just needs to find him. I don't know what's going on with that kid. Instead of coming to the admissions office of the third courtyard, he actually came to the admissions office of such a rubbish university. Could it be that he doesn't know how precious his SSS level is? But now Director Wang has no time to complain. The most urgent thing is to find Shu Li's position. Now the other two academies must know Shu Li's level, and they are looking for him everywhere. He must find Shu Li first. While searching anxiously, Director Wang saw Shu Li hurrying out with Lin Wen. Student Shu. Director Wang's eyes lit up, and when he saw Shu Li, it was like seeing a relative, and he almost cried. Finally, he was the first to find Shu Li. Looking for him. The little yellow hair on the side watched Director Wang actually hand over Shu Li's name, showed a shocked expression, and gritted his teeth in disbelief. Why did you find him? He's just a garbage awakener who doesn't even have AC level. Director Wang arrived in front of Shu Li at an extremely fast speed with 3 steps in parallel. Are you Shu Li's classmate? I called you before, the director of the admissions office of the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China. My surname is Wang. Seeing this, Lin Wen let go of Shu Li's hand in a considerate manner, and silently moved to the side, watching her nose and nose, giving Shu Li and Director Wang a certain amount of space. Is it really looking for him? How could this be? Isn't this man a liar? Some people still didn't believe it at this time, and said with red eyes, who said that Director Wang is looking for him just to recruit him? Rather than suspicion, people are more jealous. Regardless of whether Director Wang really looked for Shu Li this time, but Shu Li can talk to people like Director Wang, and Director Wang personally sought it out. It's already driving them crazy. Among the peers present, which one has had such treatment? However, Shu Li kept an alienated attitude towards Director Wang, who was so enthusiastic. So it's Director Wang, I don't know who you are here this time. Director Wang didn't expect Shu Li to be able to maintain such a calm state when he saw him. You must know how many people at the scene wanted to curry favor with him. Could this be the unique temperament of an SSS level awakener? Before he had time to think about it, Director Wang stated the purpose of his visit. You also know that it is the enrollment day of all colleges and universities. I wonder if you are interested in our 17th National Congress. As long as you enter our 17th National Congress, no matter what request you make, we will try our best to satisfy you. As soon as this remark came out, the scene exploded instantly. Are you really here to find that guy? My God, the 17th Alliance Academy has been established for so many years, and I have never seen the admissions director come to recruit students in person. What is this guy's background? He's too awesome. However, all this is just the beginning, and the best is yet to come. Just as Director Wang threw out an olive branch, two people walked in from the crowd. As soon as these two people appeared, the scene immediately fell silent. After a short silence, someone passed out directly. I'm not dreaming, am I? These two are Director Hu of the Admissions Office of the Imperial Capital, and Director Xiao of the Admissions Office of the Demon City. To be able to meet the Director of the Admissions Office of the three colleges here today is worth it in my life. Director Xiao and Director Hu had also noticed Xu Li and Director Wang a long time ago. Their expressions changed, and they came to Xu Li's side. Director Wang turned black, and cursed in a low voice, "It's really fast." Director Hu laughed and said, "Old Wang, it's your fault this time. Isn't it too unkind to recruit people behind our backs?" Director Hu is a middle-aged man with a strong figure, and the exposed arms can see the powerful strength under his solid muscles. After finishing speaking, Director Hu looked at Xu Li. "This is student Xu, right? I wonder if you are interested in coming to our Imperial College." When Director Xiao saw that the two had seized the opportunity, his old face was livid with anger, and he hurriedly said, "Student Xu, I am the Director of Admissions Office of Magic City College. My surname is Xiao. I wonder if you are interested in our school. Of course, as long as what other colleges can give you, we can give you twice as much." This time it was very lively. The three colleges snatched a student at the same time, a rare occasion in a century. Even the media didn't know where they got the news, came to the scene, and started live broadcasting the whole city. The directors of the admissions office of the three colleges actually came to recruit someone together. What kind of awakened person is this person? Could it be S class? There are very few S classes in the past few years. If it is for S class, it can be justified. But why does an S-level student appear in such an ordinary admissions location? Shouldn't he go directly to the admissions location of the third academy? Who knows, maybe it's just sensationalism, and I want to ask the directors of a few colleges to come and look for him in person. I've seen this kind of person a lot, and I'm gone when I've awakened a high-level alien beast. Is this the kind of person? That sucks, In the live broadcast, Director Wang from the 17th National Congress gave Director Xiao a disdainful look, and said, "Old Xiao, just save yourself, I don't know about your school. Now your school is not as good as it used to be. Yes, give us twice. Can you afford it?" In recent years, the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China has developed the fastest, and of course earns the most, and the accumulation of resources is also huge, surpassing the Imperial Capital Academy and the Magic City Academy in an instant, so Director Wang has this confidence, they will definitely be able to produce the best quality resources. So in Director Wang's eyes, Xu Li is almost in his pocket. Old Xiao blushed and gritted his teeth after being so slapped by Director Wang. "Old Wang, don't be too complacent. If it weren't for our Magic City Academy to help you in the 17th National Congress, would your 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China be able to have what it is today? Now it's coming back to bite us. I knew that we would rather use those resources for charity than give them to you." As we all know, at the beginning of the establishment of the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China, they were partly funded by the Magic City Academy. Without the Magic City Academy, the 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China would not be as strong today. Director Wang didn't regard this period of history as a humiliation, but said, "We paid back that little money early in the 17th National Congress, and the times are changing rapidly now, and your magic capital has been eliminated by the times, it can't be done. Just resign yourself to your fate. What else can you come up with to compete with us now?" Xu Li twitched the corners of his mouth, not knowing what to say. now the whole city is broadcasting the live broadcast of the admissions head teachers of the third college, bickering. At this moment, in the principal's office of Zhongcheng No. 1 Middle School, the principal watched the live broadcast. The moment he saw Shu Li, the principal's face was ruddy, and he suddenly slapped the table and stood up. Quick, turn on the broadcast. Let all the classes suspend the class first, and all the classes turn on the TV to play the current live broadcast. He is still thinking about how to promote the talent of Shu Li, who knows that this will be directly on TV. This is a live broadcast across the city. Great opportunity. Before the students in class realized what was going on, they saw Shu Li on TV. Am I blind? Shu Li is on TV. Oh my God, the admissions directors of the 3 colleges are inviting Shu Li to their schools. Is Shu Li going to be a big star in the future? Don't ask for the 3 major colleges, please give me some good luck, brother Shu, and let me get into a good university. The students in class 3-2 of senior high school are even more crazy. I didn't expect that Shu Li, who is usually very low-key and ordinary, would have such a brilliant day. It's so annoying. I was at the same table as him before. He has entered the 3rd courtyard. In the end, I'm still waiting for the college entrance examination. It's really too miserable. In the principal's office, the principal hung up the phone with a heavy breath. Only a few minutes after the live broadcast started, many people had already found him, wanting to send their children to study. And these callers are Zhongcheng's well-known big shots. The higher these people sit, the more they believe in some mysterious things. Their school has a rare evildoer like Shu Li, and they feel that this school is a treasure, and maybe their children can also awaken here. Good grade. Ding ding ding. The phone rang again. The principal picked it up and took a look. Suddenly his hand trembled. The caller ID was the governor of Zhongcheng. Oh my God, surprised the governor. When was the last time the governor called? It seems to be when their school was established, right? If it wasn't for Shu Li's favor this time, how could he get in touch with someone like the governor? The headmaster clicked on the phone tremblingly, his voice trembling. Hello. Governor. The governor's high-pitched voice came from the other end of the phone. Ha ha ha, it's me. I saw the live broadcast on TV. Your school has awakened an SSS class. The principal took several deep breaths before calming down a little. Yes, it's from our school, a fresh graduate of our school this year, Shu Li. The governor's voice came quickly. Not bad, really good, give us Governor Zhongcheng face. This year's funding for your school is 3 times that of last year. 3 times. More than he imagined. The headmaster became short of breath. Sure enough, the SSS class is different, and the top of the SSS class is even more special. With the inclination of resources and the sudden donation of high-quality students, it seems that it will not take long for their school to become the number 1 school in Zhongcheng City. The principal quickly expressed his thanks. On the other side of the phone, the governor added, "It just so happens that my youngest son will be going to high school next year, and he will be sent to your school then." The principal was flattered and said that he would definitely take good care of the other party. In this regard, after the governor hung up the phone, the principal put down the phone tremblingly. Not far away, Shu Li's live broadcast was still broadcasting on the TV. On this day, the residents of the entire Zhongcheng city knew that there was an SSS-level awakener in their city. At the admission site, the head teachers of the 3 colleges were still vying for each other, trying to make a better impression in front of Shu Li. However, Shu Li only silently looked at Director Xiao of the Modu Academy. Director Xiao, who discovered this, was secretly delighted. Could it be that Shu Li is more interested in their school? Similarly, Director Wang and Director Hu were a little flustered, for fear that Shu Li would be overwhelmed, and join the worst school in the 3 colleges, Modu Academy. Director Xiao suddenly gained confidence, and asked directly, "Student Shu Li, how is your decision?" Chapter 11. Upon hearing this, Director Wang and Director Hu stopped arguing and looked at Shu Li nervously, waiting for Shu Li's answer. If Shu Li did not enter their school, then the 2 admissions directors would face the principal's censure, and in severe cases, they might even be expelled directly. At the same time, all the people watching the live broadcast seemed to be suffocating, holding their breath, staring at Shu Li closely, waiting for his answer. Shu Li had already chosen which school he would like to attend, so he looked at Director Xiao of Modu Academy, and the meaning was already obvious. Director Hu and Director Wang's heart thumped, and they looked at Shu Li eagerly. Now they wish Shu Li could look at them more. Director Wang regrets it now. If he hadn't been in a hurry to argue with these guys just now, and just told him everything the school could offer him, would Shu Li be tempted and choose their school? The 17th National Congress of the Communist Party of China is much better than Modu College and Imperial College in terms of resources and school environment. Under such conditions, if he hasn't recruited Shu Li into their college, it must be his recruitment. There is a problem with the ability of the director. Shu Li opened his mouth, and was about to say that he wanted to enter the Modu Academy, but there was a commotion outside the crowd, as if someone had come. It was clearly an open space, but Shu Li felt chest tightness and breathlessness. Not only that, the totem on his arm was still aching, as if expressing some dissatisfaction. Roar! Suddenly there was a scream in the square, and a huge monster appeared in the center of the square. It was a huge mutant bear. This is a strange beast. How could someone release the strange beast? The brown bear waved its paw, as if it was in great pain, and would lose control in the next second, and the same was true for his master, a sea-level awakener. At this moment, the boy was clutching his arm where the totem was. His totem is bleeding out. The brown bear is going out of control. Everyone run. Stay away first. Everyone realized that something was wrong, and wanted to stay away from this place, but people's wish was not fulfilled. As soon as this sentence was said, various roars sounded in the square one after another. Birds, mice, stone monsters, etc., all popped out one by one like crazy. It's an S-class awakener. Director Xiao's face was a little pale. Among the 3 directors, his level of beast was the lowest, just one of the most common ones at level A3, but his perception was far superior to the other 2 directors. Only S-level awakeners can put pressure on A3 level awakeners like him. S-level awakened people are not only powerful in strength, but also have a natural suppression effect on other levels of awakened people. Do you still need to say it? Shu Li, are you okay? Director Wang said something to Director Xiao, and then looked at Shu Li with concern. Although Shu Li is SSS level, he has just awakened and is not proficient in his own beasts. Now he is directly facing such a terrifying S-level suppression. I don't know if I can't stand it. However, Shu Li's performance was even better than the 3 of them. Shu Li just shook his head lightly. It's okay, I just feel a little pain in my arm, it's nothing serious. Director Wang, does Shu Li just hurt a little? Director Wang felt like he was going to die of pain. It's just that they have experienced many battles and are able to persevere in this situation, not releasing their strange beasts at will. Director Hu forced himself to look at Shu Li, who was as if nothing had happened, and thought, sure enough, is the SSS class different? Although it has just awakened, it is much more calm than us. No wonder the SSS class is so sought after. If such a powerful person is recruited to the academy, they can be bragged for a lifetime. In fact, Shu Li is no longer a newly awakened SSS level awakener. With the help of evolution space, his Queen Medusa has changed from the original SSS-1 to SSS-2. With actual combat experience, no matter how powerful an S-level awakener is, he can't force Shu Li to release his strange beast. In the live broadcast, the audience was also dumbfounded. What's the situation? Why did they all release their own beasts? It looks a little bit wrong. Is there something wrong? You can see that the faces of the directors are all wrong. These 3 directors are all A-level, and they were able to suppress them. What happened? In Zhongcheng City, the highest level is just an S-level, and now 3 S-levels suddenly appeared, and it seems that there is more than one. Everyone panicked and even activated the city defense system. The governor also noticed this, and was about to send someone to see what was going on, but his calling voice stopped for an instant, because 3 people appeared on the live broadcast screen. These 3 people wore different clothes, but each of them had a school badge pinned to their left chest. This school badge was engraved with a huge golden building, and at the bottom of the school badge was a small word, Emperor Capital. The governor slammed down on the chair. Yes, from the Imperial Capital Academy. Royal Capital Academy, the most mysterious existence on the mainland, is independent of all cities. No one knows where the Royal Academy is, and no one knows who is in the academy, but all the high-level officials in the city know that every student in the academy is a strong man who can destroy a city by himself. There are even rumors that the lowest level in the Imperial Capital Academy is A-level awakened. In a daze, the governor didn't know what to think of. His expression suddenly became a little bitter, and he probably understood why they came here. Besides Shu Li, what else could it be for? The SSS level Queen Medusa, the top of the top, even the Imperial Capital Academy can't sit still. With a bang, the door of the governor's office was pushed open, and a man in uniform walked in quickly, his face tensed. Governor, there are 3 S-class awakened in our city, what should we do? The governor's lips turned white, and he said weakly, what should we do? What can we do? They have 3 S-level awakened people who can directly destroy our city. What can we do? The man in uniform also became anxious, then we can't sit still. The square in front of the Shenzhen Gymnasium is in chaos now. All the good seedlings of our city's future are there. No matter what, we have to send people to rescue. Rescue. The governor sneered. If people wanted to kill them, they would have done it long ago. Since they didn't do it, they wouldn't cause substantial harm to them. Don't worry, although the people in their imperial capital are powerful and their actions are simple and straightforward, but there is no hobby of cruelty and bloodthirsty. The man in uniform was still a little worried, and looked at the live broadcast. Now that the stadium is out of control, the only way for them to know what's going on inside is the live broadcast. In front of Zhongcheng Gymnasium, the 3 men wearing the Wangdu school badge saw Shu Li with a calm expression in the crowd at a glance. The only ones who can be so calm in this situation are SSS level awakeners. After identifying the target person, the 3 people in the imperial capital restrained their momentum and came to Shu Li's side. The moment they withdrew their momentum, the other awakened breathed a sigh of relief. The totem finally stopped bleeding, and the pain disappeared in an instant. Many people lost their strength and collapsed to the ground. It's too scary. Even the 3 directors can't hold on. This is at least S-level strength. Who are they? Why haven't I heard that Zhongcheng has such numbers? The awakened people looked at the 3 people with lingering fear, as if the scene just now was still in front of them, making them shudder. Who are these 3 people? Where did it come from again? What did they come to Zhongcheng for? The awakened ones stared at them intently, and the 3 people who watched the imperial capital settled in front of Shu Li. Hello, student Shu Li, let me introduce you formally. My name is Zhang Chao, and I am the tutor of Wangdu College. Because of your excellent grades, I am formally sending you an application for admission on behalf of the college. Beside, the blood on Director Wang's face faded away in an instant. Although they had a hunch that these 3 people came here for Shu Li, they were still shocked when it happened. It's been less than a day since Shu Li's results were announced, but Wangdu Academy has already got the news and rushed over. How much attention must be paid to Shu Li to be able to come here in such a short time? Moreover, the S-level powerhouse is worthy of being an S-level powerhouse. As far as they know, the Royal Capital Academy is at least several cities away from Zhongcheng, and they actually appeared in less than a day. Director Wang's face was full of discouragement. Zhongcheng was just a small city that barely settled down in the borderlands after the world mutated. They didn't expect that the world's top universities like Royal Capital College would notice the level of awakened people here. It seems that this time, none of the 3 courtyards can recruit Shu Li. After all, no matter how powerful the 3 colleges are, there is still an insurmountable distance between them and Wangdu College. Royal Capital Academy. It was the first time for Shu Li to hear the name of this college, not only in Zhongcheng, but also in several nearby colleges. But an ordinary academy would not have 3 such strong awakeners. These 3 S-level awakeners are the best proof of the strength of the academy. Shu Li glanced at Director Wang. After all, Shu Li is also from Zhongcheng. He was a little uncertain about this kind of college with unknown origins, so he had better see what Director Wang meant. Director Wang had no choice but to explain the status of Wangdu Academy to Shu Li on the spot with 3 S-level gazes. There is such a powerful academy in the world. The lowest grades are all A. How big is the outside world? Shu Li was moved, but after hesitating for a moment, he agreed to Zhang Chao's invitation. Okay, it's a long way from here to the Imperial Capital Academy, and it's full of dangers. To ensure your safety, we will wait for you at the gate of Zhongcheng in 3 days and escort you to the school. Personal escort to school. Director Wang was surprised when he heard Zhang Chao's words. Although they knew that Wangdu College would personally invite the students, they had never personally escorted the students to the students. After the enrollment of the Royal Capital School is over, the students will be given a month to go to the academy by themselves. No one has really enjoyed the condition of having 3S level escorts. Seeing that the two had discussed everything, the 3 directors of the admissions office showed disappointment. It wasn't until Zhang Chao and the others left here that Director Wang sighed deeply, with a bit of complaint in his tone. It's all your fault. If you didn't rob me and waste time here, Shuli would have been killed by me a long time ago. If you take it away, where will you drag people from the Imperial Capital Academy? Director Xiao was not happy when he heard this. You took Shuli away. Shuli obviously wants to go to my academy. On the side, Director who had been silent all the time, said in a low voice, what's the point of your quarreling now? Don't you think it's embarrassing? Even if you really took him away, and the people from the Imperial Capital came to ask for him, how dare you not? Here, did you see the posture just now? 3S level awakeners, which of our colleges can stand up to it? The 3 of them bowed their heads in resignation, but there was also an inexplicable sense of rejoicing in their hearts. If Shuli had left, they wouldn't have to fight for Shuli anymore, and they wouldn't be ashamed just because they weren't worried about recruiting Shuli. Being punished by the school. After all, the Imperial Capital is force majeure. After feeling a little more relaxed, several of them also left the gymnasium and went back to their schools. Shuli went home and ordered some food from the proprietress of the food stall. Xiao Shu, are you really an SSS level awakener? After serving Shuli's food, the proprietress stood beside Shuli, bent down, and asked a little cautiously. Shuli jokingly said, no, I'm not an awakened person. I'm still waiting to take over your stall, Madam Boss. You should keep it for me. In fact, Shuli said this because he has a good relationship with the proprietress, otherwise Shuli would not be joking like this. A look of embarrassment flashed across the face of the proprietress. Don't make fun of me. I know I was wrong a few days ago. I saw the live broadcast today. Who in Zhongcheng doesn't know about such a big event? Shuli smiled and said nothing. The SSS level identity is really different, not just the proprietress. Shuli noticed that many people around the food stall were secretly looking at him. Although at the end of the live broadcast in the morning, the governor made it very clear that the residents should not disturb Shuli's normal life, but this SSS level awakener, which is rare in a century, is so attractive, who cannot take a second look when they meet it. The proprietress didn't notice the change in Shuli's expression, and continued to think to herself, I knew Shuli that you are unusual, and is really happy for you, and you have to take care of yourself when you go outside. If you are not used to eating outside, eat often. Come back, come back. Shuli responded. After eating and drinking enough, Shuli blew the Sha wind, tried his best to ignore the eyes of the people around him, and returned home. 3B level awakeners. The first thing Shuli did when he got home was counting the awakened people he had encountered since eating. In addition to some low-level awakened people, there are 3B level awakened people mixed in. At the same time, an imperceptible blue light flashed in Shuli's eyes. This is the system reward target analysis after Shuli subdued the mutant awakener last time. As long as Shuli turns on the target analysis function, he can see the opponent's level and some basic information. Throughout the night, Shuli went out several times, and finally got acquainted with the target analysis skill before returning home to sleep. For the past 3 days, Shuli had a fairly stable life. He was used to being scrutinized when he went out, and he also received a message from the school to go there to receive the reward for awakening the SSS level. 10 million. Shuli looked at the money on the card and felt that it was too much. The average monthly salary of ordinary people in Zhongcheng is only more than 3,000 yuan, while that of the awakened people is more than 10,000 yuan. In other words, he just awakened an SSS level beast and got the money that other awakened people would have to work hard for 83 years to earn. This number is really scary. The principal smiled and said, not much, not much. In fact, the cash given to you is only 5 million. And the remaining 5 million is actually considering that you will be in the imperial capital for the next few years, so I will give you 5 million in cash. The house that should be given to you is discounted to you. According to the rules, Shu Li should also get an apartment in Zhongcheng, but the principal considered that Shu Li must have less time to come back in the future, so he helped him fight for this part of the money to be discounted. Don't think that the money is too much. Zhongcheng is not as expensive as the imperial capital. The consumption of the imperial capital is higher. You will also need to buy some medicine or equipment when you go to school. These may not be enough. When Shu Li heard this, he stopped being awkward and took the card away. What the principal gave Shu Li is a universal trading card that can be used in any region, and there is no currency barrier. After taking the money, Shu Li arrived at the gate of the city in the principal's car. Several tutors from the imperial capital hadn't arrived yet, so Shu Li took out his mobile phone boredly and started to see if there was anything new being said in the class group. Thinking of not seeing these classmates again in the future, Shu Li felt a little nostalgic for no reason. Although Shu Li has just passed through it not long ago, the owner of this body has lived here for a long time, and there is still a little consciousness left in the body. In the class group, as soon as Shu Li entered, the stagnant group suddenly became lively. Shu Li is online. Brother Shu, are you going to that Imperial Capital Academy today? I checked the information of Wangdu College on the internet, but I couldn't find anything. Brother Shu, tell us what it feels like to be competed by the directors of the admissions office of the 3 colleges, and let us know. Shu Li didn't see clearly what they sent. One message after another popped up, making people dizzy. Suddenly, a message was sent out, and the group finally calmed down for a few seconds, so that Shu Li could read what the person sent. Homeroom teacher. Congratulations to Shu Li for successfully awakening to the SSS level this time, and also enrolled in the Imperial Capital Academy. Tonight, the teacher treats you to dinner. Let's go eat Haidilao together. And Shu Li, who left Zhongcheng in the future, don't forget about us. Shu Li opened the phone's keyboard, silently typed the word, and then put away the phone. Because even if he didn't look up, Shu Li could feel the breath of S-level awakened people from far to near, and it was obvious that the mentors from the imperial capital had come over. Seeing the tutors approaching gradually, Shu Li was still a little dazed. Although this hierarchical world is cruel, the treatment of the strong is really good. When we were on Earth, no matter how good the academic performance was, how could the school send teachers to personally escort the students? Just thinking about it, Zheng Chao and the others came to Shu Li. Seeing that Shu Li came here without a parental escort, Zheng Chao felt a little strange, and reminded, have you said goodbye to your family? It won't be so easy to come back after going to the imperial capital. Hearing this sentence, the 2 instructors next to him looked at each other calmly. Zheng Chao is not such a caring person. It seems that the SSS class is the SSS class, and even Zheng Chao, who has been cold for thousands of years, can say such caring words. Shu Li lowered his head slowly. My parents died in a strange beast attack. Zheng Chao's face changed slightly when he heard the words, but he quickly changed. I'm sorry, let's go then. Shu Li didn't care much about the death of his parents. It was many years ago, and this time Shu Li was not Shu Li, so Shu Li didn't have deep feelings for the 2 elders. Shu Li, Shu Li. When the 4 of them were silent, a chubby woman trotted over not far away, holding these big and small bags in her hands, which looked very heavy, and she looked like she would fall down in a second. The person who came was the proprietress of the food stall. Shu Li, you must take good care of your body when you go to college. Don't think about making money, fighting and killing people. Survival is the most important thing, and what's included here are fried skewers that you often order at my place. I wrapped some for you. If you are not used to the food there, just take them out and fry them. Seeing the large and small packages on the ground, Shu Li felt dizzy for a while, but seeing the earnest expression of the proprietress, he finally accepted it. Don't worry, I will take good care of myself outside, and when I have time, I will come back to eat your food stall, Madam Boss. The proprietress took a deep look at Shu Li, as if she wanted to engrave Shu Li's appearance in her mind, then secretly wiped away a few tears, and left. Seeing the back of the proprietress leaving, Shu Li felt warm and picked up the big bags on the ground. At this moment, a gust of wind suddenly passed by Shu Li's ears. When he looked up, the open space in front of him was covered by a huge creature. It was a mutated rock bird that was twice as tall as the city wall. Just one claw could sink a big hole in the ground, and there was a large villa on its back. It seemed that this strange bird, the owner of the beast, would enjoy it quite a bit, otherwise he wouldn't have purposely built a villa on it. Isn't this much better than some flying carpet? At this moment, the rock, which was supposed to be extremely fierce and extremely aggressive, slowly lowered its head, bent its body, and fell on the ground, like a domesticated poultry. Zhang Chao explained. This is Mr. Deng's strange beast, the mutated rock bird. We will take this to school. Shu Li came out of the shock, nodded, and together with Zhang Chao and the other three, got on the back of the mutated rock and entered the villa. After sensing that the three of them were sitting firmly, the rock suddenly flapped its wings and slowly flew into the sky. At the same time, in Zhongcheng, many people saw the huge monster in the sky, and they stopped slowly, exclaiming, "So, is that a bird? Is this a strange beast? But it looks like it has been tamed. Look, there is a small villa on it. Wow, I really want to live in the villa on that bird, it must be very cool. Get out of the way, get out of the way, make room for me, let me take a picture." In the villa on Dapeng's back, Shu Li was woken up by the temperature of the sky in the middle of the night. Although the Dapeng is convenient, comfortable, and fast, but the temperature in the sky is relatively low, and Zhongcheng, where Shu Li lives, is a relatively warm city, so he was awakened by the cold as expected. When he came to the bird's back, Shu Li subconsciously opened Target Analysis and a series of information appeared in front of him. Target Analysis. Analysis succeeded. Name: Variation Dapeng bird. Status: Adulthood. Level: S4. System prompt: the mutant rock is huge, and it is a good flying beast. Shu Li was startled. It seems that this target analysis can not only analyze human beings, but also alien beasts. Then this function is much more useful than Shu Li imagined. Shu Li, who couldn't sleep, took out his mobile phone. To pass the time, Shu Li opened the class group again, wanting to see what happened to everyone today. The amazing thing is that at this late hour, everyone is still awake, as if discussing something about the big bird. Did you see it? Someone took a picture of it in the suburbs beyond the gate of the city today. What is that big bird? This is a strange beast. There is a villa on the back of this strange beast. The students were chatting enthusiastically, when there was a sudden ding-dong. The news that Shu Li was online interrupted their conversation. Brother Shu is still online at this late hour. Did you miss us, Brother Shu? Brother Shu, are you on your way to the imperial capital now? Shu Li sniffed and replied, on the way to the imperial capital, but it's too cold at night to sleep. Cold? It's summer now. It's so hot here, and I'm still running the air conditioner. Shu Li sneezed. I'm in the sky now, the altitude is relatively high, so the temperature is relatively low. Heaven, could it be that bird in the sky? Brother Shu, you are not in the villa on the back of the bird, are you? Shu Li typed a yes, slowly. The group exploded instantly. Brother Shu is also a master of Versailles. As that strange beast belonged to the teacher of Imperial Capital Academy. How powerful. We have never seen such a powerful beast in our city. Wow, now that I've said that, I want to visit the Imperial Capital. If I could sit on such a magnificent beast, I would be willing to freeze to death on the back of a bird. Shu Li was infected by the joyful atmosphere in the group, and he didn't feel so cold anymore. After chatting with his classmates for a while, seeing that the time was almost up, Shu Li turned off his phone and summoned the system. A system notification sounded in my mind. SSS2 Queen Medusa is evolving, evolution progress, 40:00:40:00. Congratulations to the host for successfully evolving SSS2 Queen Medusa into SSS3 Queen Medusa. Upgrading Queen Medusa from SSS2 to SSS3 requires 10,000 experience points. Although 10,000 may seem like a lot, the time required is within Shu Li's acceptable range. It's just that this evolution space actually determines its cooling time according to the evolution time. This caused Shu Li to evolve Queen Medusa to SSS3 until now. Doesn't it look like it will be able to evolve to SSS4 soon? Shu Li rubbed his hands together and opened Queen Medusa's status bar. Pet: Queen Medusa. Level: SSS2. Experience value: 0 ***. Status: Childhood. System prompt: Queen Medusa is highly poisonous. Shu Li insisted on counting in the column of experience points for a long time, and it took him a long time to count the number. 10 million. Shu Li counted again and accepted the fact after confirming several times. If 10 million is converted into days, it will take more than 160 days. If you add the cooling time, doesn't that mean he couldn't release Queen Medusa for a long time? It's not worth it no matter what. Shu Li was a little anxious. If that's the case, why couldn't he use Queen Medusa's words for so long? Be an ordinary person. Shu Li was a little puzzled. It seems that evolution space still needs to be upgraded, but I don't know when there will be special items that can upgrade evolution space. Just as he was thinking, Shu Li noticed the sound of hunting wind coming from his ears. It was definitely not a simple sound of wind, nor was it the sound of the flapping of the rock's wings. Shu Li looked into the distance, and didn't know when many flying beasts appeared around him. And these flying alien beasts are obviously not as advanced as Dapeng. These alien beasts can't bear a villa on their backs, and they can't fly as steadily as Dapeng. There were more or less people standing on these flying beasts. Shu Li glanced over and found that these people were all awakened ones. And the lowest grades are all sea level, and the highest one even reached S level. Of course, there is only one S level, and their Dapeng has 3 S levels, and his SSS 3 level. That's a flying beast that other schools pick up and drop off students. A voice sounded beside Shu Li. Zhang Chao didn't know when he appeared beside him, looking at all kinds of flying beasts with him. This one is for you. A light flashed in Zhang Chao's hand, and a thick quilt appeared. I forgot that you were from a southern city, and now you are in the sky again. This one is for you. Shu Li took the quilt, but his attention was not on the quilt, but on Zhang Chao's hand. There was a flash there just now, and a quilt appeared. Seeming to have discovered Shu Li's curiosity, Zhang Chao explained, just now this is a space worm sold by our school. As long as you put the live space worm into your wrist, it is equivalent to obtaining a small space of 1 cubic meter. Of course, if you have money, you can buy an advanced space worm. The more advanced the space worm, the more space it will get. And this baby, however, space worms are very expensive. A low-level space worm costs 8 million yuan, while the highest level space worm has already sold for 100 million yuan. Shu Li twitched the corner of his mouth fiercely. 8 million can only buy a low-level space worm. The imperial capital is really a place that burns money. Shu Li suddenly remembered something and asked, can a low-level space worm grow into a high-level space worm? If space worms can grow, wouldn't they be able to use the evolutionary space? Zhang Chao pursed his lips. It should be possible, but it will take a long time, and the food needed by space worms is very expensive, so it's not worthwhile to raise them by yourself. It's better to buy one. It's good to be able to grow. Shu Li was ecstatic in his heart. As long as he could grow, he could use the evolution space. Wouldn't this save a lot of money? If he uses the evolution space to evolve in batches, he can even make a lot of money, so he won't have to worry about running out of money in the imperial capital in the future. After Zhang Chao gave the quilt to Shu Li, he patted him on the shoulder. It's getting late, I'll go back to sleep first. If you have any problems, just come to me. Seeing the back of Zhang Chao leaving, Shu Li hugged the quilt, feeling a little complicated in his heart. A small space of 1 cubic meter needs 8 million. Zhang Chao, who can luxuriously use the space to store quilts, should have such a large space. Shu Li was envious for a while, and glanced at the flying beasts of other colleges. The students on those beasts were shivering from the cold. He suddenly felt that he was not too cold with a villa and a thick quilt. As if knowing the power of the imperial capital, those strange beasts gradually left the Dapeng's body, and none of them dared to fly higher than the Dapeng. When Shu Li entered the villa with the quilt in his arms, some students on the alien beast not far away started talking. That strange beast looks so powerful, it can even carry a villa on its back. This must be at least an S-level beast to have this ability. Tisk, using S-level alien beasts as a means of transportation, which college is so rich and powerful? I also really want to enter that villa. It's almost freezing to death now. I feel like I'm going to die young before I go to school. Everyone laughed, and some students looked at the back of Shu Li walking into the villa just now, and said enviously, the students recruited by their school must at least be B-level awakened. The student on a strange beast next to him heard it, and said tremblingly, I'm a B-level student, and I haven't seen their school come to recruit me. Then that student just now was A-level. Everyone was astonished. There are very few A-levels now. If it is A-levels, this kind of treatment can be justified. However, on another alien beast with an S-level awakener sitting in the town, a new A-level freshman turned red-eyed. A-level is probably not enough, otherwise why am I not selected? That person wouldn't be S-class. After a night of nothing, when Shuli woke up the next morning, he unexpectedly saw those low-level flying beasts following them, and couldn't help feeling an indescribably weird feeling. Shuli found a few suspicious things. First, even if these strange beasts were picked up by other schools, wouldn't these schools all be in the same direction? After a whole night, Shuli found that not a single strange beast was missing. The second point, he remembered that the 3 tutors of the Imperial Capital Academy could arrive at their Zhongcheng the day after the results were announced, and they could also rush back within a day, but now it has been a whole day, and they are still there. The look of nowhere. It doesn't look like they are going back to school, but it seems that these colleges have made an agreement to take the freshmen to the same place. A chill rose in Shuli's heart, but he didn't ask further. After finishing breakfast, Shuli noticed that Zhang Chao looked at him with strange eyes. Compared with yesterday's calm eyes, there seemed to be a little playfulness in his eyes today. Shuli wondered if he had read it wrong. Zhang Chao took the initiative to invite, go out for a walk. A bad premonition rose in Shuli's heart, but he tried his best to suppress this feeling, nodded silently, and came outside the villa. Fortunately, the rock was flying very slowly and the wind above was not very strong. Looking down from Dapeng, you can see a forest, and you can't see the edge at a glance. It seems that it will take half a day to fly there. While Shuli was observing the forest, the Dapeng suddenly fell rapidly, forcing Shuli to grab the feathers on Dapeng's body to stabilize his body. At the same time, Zhang Chao's voice rang in his ears. Boy, I can only blame you for being unlucky. You have caught up with the 5-yearly freshman assessment of 100 schools. What you have to do is to survive safely in this forest. The best thing is to get out of the forest and give us the imperial capital. Long face. Shuli. Just when Shuli was about to speak, he felt his waist being hit, and he fell off Dapeng's back and rushed down to the forest below. Shuli was speechless for a while. He finally understood why these schools all went to the same place. It sounds like this means the common freshman assessment between schools. Just after understanding Zhang Chao's words, Shuli had already fallen into the forest. The branches cut Shuli's skin instantly, and there were many large and small scratches on his intact body. And finally, with the cover of the forest, Shuli didn't wait any longer, and directly released his own beast, Queen Medusa. With the last 40 hours of evolution, Queen Medusa has changed from a blue-gray snake with long arms to a huge python with the length of a big tree. With a bang, Shuli stood on Queen Medusa's back and landed slowly without much damage. It's dangerous. Shuli heaved a sigh of relief, and glanced at the place where he fell. It's just that I have lost a lot of students from grade C to grade B. Shuli felt sorry for those students. However, what Shuli didn't know was that only the Imperial Capital Academy used such a rough method over the years, while other academies let the flying beast slowly stop outside the forest and let the students walk into the forest. In the sky, the faces of many people changed drastically. The students following behind the Imperial Capital swallowed their saliva. What happened to the college in front? They just kicked the students down. Well, if this height is kicked down, can the students survive? This is too cruel. But Zhang Chao watched everything with gusto. Teacher Deng on the side frowned. Aren't we going too far? Although we threw it down before, it was all agreed in advance to let the students be mentally prepared, and we have never thrown it down so high. Quote, it's somewhat inhumane to do this. They are all freshmen. In other words, they are ordinary people who only have strange beasts but have no actual combat experience. It is indeed a bit too much to do so. Zhang Chao shook his head. Don't you think that kid is fine? And you don't want to see what the legendary Queen Medusa looks like as soon as possible. Being caught by Zhang Chao's words, Teacher Deng blushed. Although I want to watch it, I don't want to use this method. What if I hurt the students? This is an SSS level student. Even if these S-level tutors were turned off, they would not dare to make Shuli feel the slightest difference. Zhang Chao curled his lips. Do you think the SSS level is so weak? And this guy is not an SSS 1 level awakener, I think he is at least SSS 2 level. Do you think any SSS 1 level snake beast has such a big scale? So hard. Hearing this, Mr. Deng carefully recalled the appearance of the big snake that appeared just now. It really didn't look like a snake that had just awakened, and Shu Li used it very maturely. It seems that this kid had already used Queen Medusa before seeing them up. That's really talented. It seems that our school has recruited a treasure this year. In the forest, Shu Li put away Queen Medusa and glanced at the surrounding environment. The trees here are dense, and there are faint roars of strange beasts, which seems to be much more dangerous than it looks on the surface. Not only that, this time is the freshman assessment of 100 schools, and it is not only the strange beasts that have to be faced, there are students from other schools. The longer Shu Li walked in the forest, the more unreliable he felt. Although he deliberately avoided the direction of the screaming beast, he didn't have a map, and he didn't know how to get out of the forest. According to what Zhang Chao said before, he'd better be able to get out of this forest, but he didn't know the specific direction. Would you like to turn on your phone and have a look? Shu Li tried to take out the phone and found that there was an internet connection. But Shu Li didn't know what this forest was called, and he couldn't use the navigation here. In the end, Shu Li searched for 100 school freshman assessment on the internet helplessly. I didn't have much hope at first, but Shu Li actually found it. Looking at the information on the internet, Shu Li knew the name of this forest, Beimuluo Forest, which is also a large forest that separates the small borderland from the hell in the center of the world, covering an area of 500 square kilometers. There are many ferocious alien beasts in Beimuluo Forest. After the world mutated, this place has almost become a paradise for alien beasts. In addition to the most basic introduction, the following information is the joint name of many parents, demanding the cancellation of the 100 school freshman assessment, because the mortality rate of the 100 school freshman assessment is extremely high, and many students will not be able to make it out of the forest alive. When? Further down, Shu Li flipped to A. Live. Is there anyone else broadcasting live in the Beimuluo forest where strange beasts may appear at any time? Shu Li clicked in, and there were already more than 30,000 people in the live broadcast room, and the anchor was an 18-year-old girl whose online name was Su Luo. Why does it sound so real? At this time, the live broadcast had already started. Su Luo was not alone, she was accompanied by 3 teammates, and the 4 of them walked together in Beimuluo Forest. In the barrage, many people looked at them enviously. It turns out that this year is the 5-year freshman assessment for hundreds of schools. The female anchor is so beautiful. What level of awakener are you? The existence of a powerful awakener will definitely attract a wave of attention. Su Luo naturally will not let go of this opportunity to increase her popularity in the live broadcast room, and smiles sweetly. I'm almost a C-level awakener, but we are traveling together. The Shu Lingshan big brother in the movie is a B-level awakener. With Shu Lingshan big brother, we will be able to get out of the Beimuluo forest safely. Hearing that there were B-level awakeners in the same team, the direction of the wind on the bullet screen suddenly changed. A B-level awakener. The tallest one in our city is a B-level awakened person, and he was taken away by the high-level institutions of higher education in other cities. Hey, talents cannot be retained. Sister Xiao Luo, please show us more. Brother Shu, B-level awakened people can't see it just because they want to, so feast our eyes on it. Is there a fool upstairs? Isn't Sister Xiaoluo not good looking? What's so good about a man? I want to see Sister Xiaoluo. Sure enough, the number of people in the live broadcast room increased several times after it was revealed that there were B-level awakeners. Shu Li felt bored and turned off the live broadcast. There is no specific map of Beimuluo Forest. After all, it is too big, and there are many ferocious beasts in it, which is extremely dangerous. No one has ever been able to travel every inch of Beimuluo's land, but there is still a partial map. Shu Li collected all the local maps, and finally found his location on an inconspicuous map. He was now relatively close to the edge of Beimuluo Forest. It seemed that Zhang Chao still had a conscience and did not directly throw Shu Li in the central area of the forest. According to the usual thinking, the closer the place is to the center of the forest, the higher the level of the beast and the stronger its strength. Shu Li put away his mobile phone, looked at the forest beyond the horizon, and frowned slightly. Since you're here, let's try to get out. If even he, a freshman of SSS 3, can't go out, then few people can go out. Following the route on the map, Shu Li started to walk towards a relatively safe place, but the roar of the strange beasts became more and more as he walked. Could it be that there is something wrong with the route given on the map? Shu Li stopped, because on the tree in front of him, there was a mutated gibbon looking at him now. With the appearance of the alien beasts strengthen not only the body, but also part of the wisdom, especially in the big forest where such alien beasts gather. The long-armed monkey was originally an intelligent beast, so it was difficult to deal with it now. A blue light flashed in Shu Li's eyes. Name: Mutant Gibbon. Level: C3. Status: Adulthood. System prompt: the gibbon is very cunning, and its arms are very powerful. If it is hit by its long arms, even an awakened person will be seriously injured. Seeing that it was just a C-level beast, Shu Li was relieved, but he didn't relax his vigilance and kept his eyes on the gibbon. And the gibbon didn't act rashly, and it didn't rush to fight like other unintelligent beasts. There seemed to be human emotions in its eyes, looking at Shu Li, as if judging Shu Li's strength, whether he could beat him much. It was the first time for Shu Li to be stared at by a monkey so that his scalp became numb, and it was also the first time for him to meet a strange beast whose eyes were full of scrutiny. This made Shu Li feel that what he was facing was not a strange beast, but a living person. No one person or monkey acted rashly. The forest is full of dangers. Unplanned fights will only attract the siege of other strange beasts. Just when Shu Li was thinking about whether to release Queen Medusa first, there was a chirping sound behind her. Now we have walked nearly 1,000 meters inside, and we haven't encountered. Not far away, a petite girl was broadcasting live with a selfie stick. Halfway through the live broadcast, a 2-person high mutation gibbon suddenly appeared on the live broadcast screen. The sudden appearance of the strange beast startled the girl, and the selfie stick in her hand almost fell to the ground. I'm going, strange beast. I actually saw a real strange beast. This is a gibbon. I've seen it in the Encyclopedia of Alien Beasts before, and it's just a C-level alien beast. Wouldn't the B-level brother Shu be able to destroy it easily? The audience expressed that they want Shu Lingshan to subdue this C-level beast. Su Luo also looked at Shu Lingshan. Brother Shu, the audience told you to subdue that C-level gibbon. Shu Lingshan glanced lightly at the gibbon not far away, and assumed the posture of a master. It's just a low-level alien beast, and it's easy to tame it. After receiving Shu Lingshan's words, Su Luo's face was full of excitement, and at the same time, she pointed her phone at the gibbon. At the same time, Shu Li's figure also appeared in the live broadcast. Oh my god, is this person scared stupid by the gibbon? Why is he still standing there? Brother Shu, hurry up and save someone, that silly boy is too frightened to walk. That's why if you don't have enough strength, don't take part in the freshman assessment of hundreds of schools. Not everyone has Brother Shu's strength. Shu Lingshan enjoyed the audience's compliments on him, and he was very proud. He wanted to be a respected and aloof awakener since he was a child, and now he has awakened a powerful B-level beast. He now has the qualification to enjoy the pursuit of everyone. And that's why he, a B-level awakener, would be with a group of low-level awakeners like Su Luo. Su Luo is a female internet celebrity, and she will broadcast live in Beimuluo Forest. He can just use this live broadcast to show everyone how powerful he is. Now is an opportunity to show his strength to the public. Even if Su Luo doesn't let him save people, he will go, and he will save people beautifully. After the live broadcast is over, how will the outside world describe the incident? He should be in the headlines, right? The title is, The Powerful New Generation Awakened, Shu Lingshan. Or, Rising Star, B-Class Awakened Shu Lingshan. Thinking of this, Shu Lingshan looked towards the gibbon slowly, and then he saw Shu Li who was standing opposite the gibbon, the corner of his mouth curled up. No, it should be, Beimuluo Forest Rescue Incident. Who is that powerful B-Class Awakened? Su Luo looked at Shu Lingshan flatteringly, clumsily imitating the tone of a professional abbot, and her voice sounded a little funny. Brother Shu, are you sure you can defeat that C-level gibbon? Shu Lingshan glanced at the gibbon contemptuously, and said with disdain, it's just a gibbon, and it's only an instant to take it down. As soon as the voice fell, the live broadcast room exploded. B-level awakened people or bulls. They speak so confidently. Brother Shu, rush, show these strange beasts how powerful we human awakeners are. Outside the Beimuluo Great Forest, many instructors who were waiting for the students to come out were also watching Su Luo's live broadcast. Ha ha ha, Lao Luo, this B-level Shu Lingshan is a freshman in your school, right? He's really good. He looks talented and has strong strength. It seems that your Lanmu College will definitely shine this time. The mentor named Lao Luo smiled proudly. Where is it? I heard that there will be A-level students participating this time. Our Shu Lingshan is not comparable to the A-level awakeners. Several tutors were discussing their students together. Suddenly, someone saw two people not far away and asked in surprise, aren't those two tutors from Imperial Capital Academy? Why are they here? Could it be possible that someone from the Royal Capital Academy will also participate this time? I haven't heard of it. Didn't the Royal Capital Academy not participate in it for several years? Who knows? Let's continue watching the live broadcast. Over at Royal Capital Academy, Zhang Chao was holding his mobile phone, watching the live broadcast, laughing so hard he couldn't breathe. Look at what these people are talking about. Let this B-level kid save our SSS level freshman. Mr. Deng gave him a gloomy look. You should restrain yourself. You are so old, and you are a mentor. Why are you still fussing with these kids? Not only did Zhang Chao not restrain himself, he laughed even more presumptuously, watching Su Luo's live broadcast intently. In the live broadcast, Shu Lingshan walked up to the gibbon without any haste, and patted Shu Li on the shoulder. Brother, you step back first, and leave this to me. Shu Li glanced at him, hesitated and said, are you sure? Seeing that he was questioned by such a low-level awakener, Shu Lingshan felt unhappy. You are just a low-level awakener, you can't beat a C-level gibbon. If you stay here, you will die. Shu Li sized him up, and frowned when he learned that Shu Lingshan was a B-level awakened person. He didn't say anything, and silently retreated to the back. He just took this opportunity to see the strength of other awakened people. But at this moment, the gibbon seemed to have found the right moment, waving its huge arms and sweeping towards Shu Li and Shu Lingshan. Shu Li walked fast and escaped unharmed. Shu Lingshan was not injured either. At this moment, a red wild boar appeared beside Shu Lingshan. This wild boar is different from ordinary mutant wild boars. It can stand upright on the ground like humans, and its body is extremely strong and powerful. And the arm of the gibbon is now firmly grasped in the hands of the wild boar. A string of messages appeared in front of Shu Li's eyes. Name: mutated red-haired wild boar. Level: B1. Status: childhood. System prompt: the red-haired wild boar has extremely high attack power and great strength, but its intelligence is not high, and it may suffer a disadvantage in the face of intelligent alien beasts. This isn't the gibbon on the opposite side an intelligent beast? Shu Li twitched the corner of his mouth. At this moment, the red-haired wild boar and the gibbon had already met for the second round. The gibbon knew that it was not as strong and powerful as the red-haired wild boar, so it started to walk in the jungle with the help of its strong arms and the vines hanging from the trees. Look, the gibbon has escaped. Sure enough, B-level awakened people are so terrifying. The bullet screen was full of joy, and everyone was applauding. And the next second, the red-haired wild boar that had been staring at the gibbon slammed into a big tree in front of it. Isn't this red-haired wild boar too stupid? Seeing a tree, he ran into it. Is it really a B-level beast? It's so stupid. Not far away, the gibbon also uttered a cry of victory, declaring its joy of victory. Shu Lingshan's face turned black, and he roared, stand up. Why don't you kill it soon? It's just a little monkey, you can't even beat AC level 1. What a waste. However, the horn of the red-haired wild boar was deeply stuck in the big tree, and it could not be pulled out no matter how hard it was. Idiot, idiot, do you want me to embarrass me in front of so many people? You will lose all my face. Shu Lingshan walked up to the wild boar and kicked the immobile wild boar with an ugly face. Brother Shu. Just when Shu Lingshan was cursing his strange beast, Su Luo suddenly yelled. The gibbon did not know when it came to Shu Lingshan's back, silently clenched its fists, raised its upper arm, and was about to hit Shu Lingshan with all its strength. Run! Isn't Brother Shu a B-level awakener? How could he not beat a C-level gibbon? Who cares about the reason now? Brother Shu, run away, so that the Green Hills are left without worrying about no firewood. But time was running out. When Shu Lingshan noticed the gibbon behind him, a fist had already appeared on top of his head, and it was about to fall down in the next second. Su Luo closed her eyes subconsciously, unable to bear to watch a living person being smashed into a pulp. However, the imaginary bloody scene did not appear, and a giant python nearly 5 meters long appeared in everyone's field of vision. And the gibbon was entangled by the tail of this giant python, and was thrown out in an instant, and even smashed on the ground several times. The gibbon, which was still alive and kicking, was spread out on the ground covered in blood, and it couldn't die anymore. All eyes are on Shu Li. If they read correctly just now, it was the low-level awakener they called that summoned this powerful giant python. What's going on? Isn't this guy a low-level awakener? I'm afraid the upstairs is not blind. You told me that the giant python just now is a low-level beast. What's the situation? Sister Xiaoluo, go over and check the situation. Su Luo froze for a long time before walking over, looking at Shu Li in a daze. And Shu Li just got rid of the gibbon, and he still has lingering fears. Queen Medusa was also coiling quietly on the ground, and a system notification sounded. System prompt. Congratulations to the host for perfectly killing the C3 level gibbon. Get a copy of the C3 gibbon's blood. The blood of the gibbon. It can enhance the spiritual intelligence of the alien beast, and at the same time increase the spiritual power of the host. System prompt. It is recommended that the host put the blood of the gibbon into the evolution space to upgrade before eating. There is a chance to upgrade the level of the blood, so the effect will be better. Hiss. The blood that increases mental strength. Shu Li gasped. As the level of the alien beast increases, the awakened will purchase corresponding spiritual strengthening potions to make their mental power stronger, so as to resist the mental power attack brought by the upgrade of the alien beast. However, the price of this spiritual strengthening potion is very high in the market, and many awakened people cannot afford it. And this small bottle of blood can enhance mental power. What's even more frightening is that this blood has a chance to evolve. Shu Li pursed his lips. It seems that these strange beasts are full of treasures. On the ground, no one noticed that the corpse of the gibbon shrank at a speed visible to the naked eye, becoming shriveled. Student, classmate, Shu Li, who was still in shock, was woken up by Su Luo, and looked at Su Luo with a dull look. From the perspective of the people in the live broadcast room and Su Luo, this reaction was a normal behavior after the first killing, so Su Luo's tone was milder. Student, are you also here to participate in the freshman assessment of the 100 schools? Shu Li was still immersed in the joy just now, and only gave a low, to express his response. Seeing the other party's indifferent attitude, Su Luo was not angry. She smiled, and said, "That's great, let's go together. We are also here to participate in the freshman assessment. The Beimuluo forest is so dangerous, how many partners can take care of each other, isn't it?" Shu Li didn't want to be with them. These people are not strong, and they seem to be very capable. This is an exam, and everyone is a competitor. Shu Li has no intention of leading these people on the road. So Shu Li flatly refused. I still like someone. Su Luo froze for a moment, then froze in place. Isn't this person pretending too much? Sister Xiaoluo is also a C-level awakener after all. Why does it seem that others want to take advantage of him? Isn't that just defeating a C-level gibbon? Those who don't know think he defeated something. What about high-level alien beasts? In the barrage, someone immediately defended Su Luo, but Su Luo did not express any dissatisfaction with Shu Li. Su Luo, who is an awakened person, felt the deadly coercion the second Queen Medusa appeared. Even the red-haired wild boar at level B was shivering. It can be seen that this person's level of alien beast is higher than that of level B. B level and above are A level. But Su Luo always felt that this person's level was more than that. She even faintly felt that this boy of her age in front of her might even be an S-level awakener. Su Luo subconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Anyway, this kind of person is not something she can afford to provoke. So, in the end, Su Luo could only watch Shu Li leave here alone. Ha ha ha, everyone should stop arguing about this matter, and don't feel angry for me. Everyone has their own choice. Well, today's live broadcast ends here, and we will see you another day. After speaking, Su Luo turned off the live broadcast. With this experience, Su Luo clearly knew how dangerous Beimuluo Forest was, and it was not a place where a sea-level awakener like her could feel free. Thinking of this, Su Luo thought of Shu Li who killed the C3 level gibbon just now with one move, and there was a look of longing in her eyes. It would be great if I could form a team with him. At this moment, Shu Li changed the direction and continued walking. I don't know who made this map, so it's completely inaccurate. It's marked on this road that there are no sea level and above monsters, and he just met it. The point is that this is still the outskirts of the Beimuluo forest, and I have encountered a sea level here, so if I continue walking, will it be a B level, or even an A level? Shu Li didn't have much actual combat experience yet, so he didn't dare to act rashly, so it was better to be cautious. Bang! The sudden loud noise made Shu Li, who was already a frightened bird, jump, and then there was a vibration from the ground. It was as if some group of animals appeared. Shu Li turned around quickly, watching from a distance a group of giant ants rushing towards him at an extremely fast speed. Target analysis complete. Name: Mutated Ant. Level: D1. Status: Childhood. System prompt: although the level of mutant ants is low, they are numerous. If you are not sure of victory, please run away quickly. Ant colony. Ants were originally small in size, so they didn't become very large after the mutation, but even so, they were already half the height of a human being. What's more terrible is that ants appear in groups. If they meet them, will they be gnawed to the bone? Shu Li was about to escape, but he heard human cries for help mixed with the shaking. Seeing this, Shu Li climbed up a big tree and covered himself with dense branches and leaves. After confirming that the ants could not notice him, Shu Li looked down. A group of black ants swept past, and they were carrying two humans, a man and a woman. Shu Li thought of the situation of ants carrying food that he saw before, and felt a chill in his heart. When did human beings become food for ants? And the human cry that Shu Li heard just now was that girl. You bunch of stinky ants, you have the ability to let your ant come down to one-on-one. What's the point of beating a bunch of ants? The girl with a flirtatious face and hot clothes was swearing all the way. Even her voice was a little hoarse. She seemed to be a hot-tempered master. Target analysis succeeded. Name: Lingyan. Level: B2 level. Exotic beast: cartilage rabbit. Spiritual power: 81. Physical fitness: 17. Seeing the line about physical fitness, Shu Li was so shocked that he almost fell off the tree. He was actually not as good as a woman's physical fitness. And the other boy is much worse than Ling Yan in all aspects, just a C1 level awakener. Shu Li hid behind the big tree and didn't intend to go out to help, and said in a low voice, the ant colony below should only be part of it. Seek good luck. Just when Shu Li was about to wait until the ant colony passed by, Ling Yan, who had been making noise, suddenly stopped talking, and Shu Li felt a stare staring at him inexplicably. Brother, it's really not a gentleman's action to ignore death, so you come down together. Sure enough, a pink rabbit suddenly appeared next to Ling Yan. The rabbit was so fast that Shu Li was caught off guard. With a bang, Shu Li fell from the tree. Seeing this, the rabbit took a proud look at Shu Li and disappeared before his eyes, as if he had returned to Ling Yan's totem. The movement was so loud that it immediately attracted the attention of the ant colony. Just like that, Shu Li met the eyes of the nearest ant. Shu Li, you woman is too vicious. You still want to harm me after being arrested. The next second Shu Li accelerated suddenly, wanting to climb up the tree. But Ling Yan's laughter came from below. Brother, just give up struggling, these ants are very fast, otherwise we won't be caught. You should just release your own beast, as long as it is you. If the strange beast can save us, then I will make a good apology to you. Seeing Ling Yan making sarcastic remarks, Shu Li's face darkened, but what she said was true. The moment Shu Li climbed up the tree, there was a commotion in the ant colony, and then a group of ants separated out of the ant colony, climbed up the tree at an extremely fast speed, and was about to meet Shu Li. As soon as Shu Li gritted his teeth, he no longer wanted to keep his strength, and released Queen Medusa directly. A giant python appeared and instantly crushed many ants to death. Although these ants were numerous in number, they were weak after all, and Queen Medusa had a level of suppression on them. Soon, Queen Medusa swiped her tail, and all the ants that wanted to get close to Shu Li were thrown away. Almost no ant could get close to Shu Li. Seeing this, Shu Li breathed a sigh of relief, and climbed onto Queen Medusa's snake back without haste. Looking at the ants lying on the ground, Shu Li rubbed his nose in embarrassment, a little in disbelief. So I'm so strong. The surviving ants seemed to understand Shu Li's words, and their eyes turned red. They even put down Ling Yan and her companions on their backs, and rushed towards Shu Li. But no matter how many D1 level ants there are, how can they stop the SSS 3 level Queen Medusa? Shu Li didn't take their madness to heart. At the same time, with Queen Medusa as the center, all the ants attacking from around were thrown out, and they were shot out one by one like cannonballs, knocking down many trees. After being rescued, Ling Yan and his companions found a rock and hid behind them. Looking at the situation not far away, they were dumbfounded. The boy next to him swallowed even more, and said in astonishment, "My God! This classmate is so strong. It seems that he can single out this group alone." After finishing speaking, the boy thought about it, and felt that something was wrong, and said, "No, we cheated him just now, let's run quickly, otherwise what if he wins and turns around to settle accounts with us?" Now Shu Li looks unstoppable and looks like he can win by any means. However, after hearing Shui Yang's words, Ling Yan shook his head, checked his belongings, and said, "He can't do it, although his level of alien beast should be quite high, but have you noticed that there are not as many ants as before?" Although Ling Yan has a hot temper, she is a girl after all, and her observation skills are better than boys, and she has also discovered problems that Shu Li did not. Hearing this, Shui Yang observed the situation and his face changed drastically. "You mean, there are ants looking for the queen?" After the world has mutated, the ant queen is no longer an ant queen that is only used for reproduction and has no attack power. The current ant queen is extremely terrifying, and it is an existence that most awakened people will walk around after seeing it. Ling Yan nodded, "And if you can breed so many D-class worker ants, then the queen is at least B-class. Class B. Although Ling Yan and Shui Yang are both B-level awakeners, the awakened beasts are different from the ferocious beasts that survived in the Beimuluo forest. This is the difference between domesticated and wild." Hearing this, Shui Yang couldn't sit still any longer. "Then let's run, if we stay here, we are doomed." "Is it still necessary for you to say?" Ling Yan glanced at Shu Li, who was not far away. "Student, although I'm sorry for doing this, I can only sacrifice you." After finishing speaking, Ling Yan and Shui Yang were about to flee in the direction where there were fewer ants, but they hadn't run far when there was a vibration on the ground, which was even louder than the movement of the ant colony just now. "A bad premonition came to my heart. It seems that the queen ant has come out." Ling Yan gritted his teeth sharply, and changed the direction. "Go this way, try to avoid the most violent direction. As long as we can avoid the queen ant, we have a chance of survival." The two speeded up, using almost all their strength, but no matter how many directions they changed, the vibration still didn't get smaller, but instead got bigger. Shui Yang was about to cry, "Are we going to explain here today? Every time the queen ant moves out, all the worker ants in the ant nest must follow." Looking at the current posture, it should be surrounded by ants, and they are shrinking the encirclement at an extremely fast speed. Ling Yan's complexion turned extremely ugly, and he said decisively, "Go back, let's go back and find that person just now, maybe we can find a way." In their current situation, they could only pin their hopes on Shu Li. At this moment, Shu Li, who was supposed to be sure of winning, also felt the fluctuations from all around and the excitement of the ants. What's going on? Could it be another wave of ants? As soon as Shu Li's thoughts popped up, he saw a huge ant appearing not far from him. This ant is 3 to 4 times the size of other ants. Its body looks extremely hard. What is even more terrifying is its abdomen. Its abdomen is extremely large, and its claws are very sharp. It looks very difficult to mess with. Target analysis succeeded. Name: Mutated Ant Queen. Grade: B4. Status: Adulthood. System prompt: the claws of the queen ant are extremely sharp and have a certain degree of toxicity. If you are injured by it, you may fall into a coma. Ant Queen. Shu Li finally knew why the ground was shaking so strongly. The surrounding area was filled with darkness, led by the queen ant, surrounded by worker ants ranging from F level to C level. At this moment, Shu Li couldn't laugh anymore. Wasn't this just teasing him? With so many ants, and even a queen inside, how could he beat it? Suddenly, the system's notification sounded. C3 level gibbon blood evolution is over. Congratulations to the host for obtaining B3 level gibbon blood. Absorbing the blood of a B3 level gibbon can increase the host's mental power by 10 points. After the mental power breaks through 120 points, the host can use a certain degree of mind control. After getting the blood knight of the gibbon, Shuli threw it into the evolutionary space without thinking too much. Until now, the blood of the gibbon has finally evolved successfully. Mind control. Isn't this a mental attack? Absorb. Shuli directly chose to absorb. In the next second, there was a dull pain in his head, but the dull pain only lasted for a few seconds. When Shuli opened his eyes again, the world became clearer. 120 mental power, let me see what effect you can have. Shuli followed the prompts of the system and slowly began to release his mental power. The mental power has no form, centered on Shuli's head, slowly spreading to the surroundings, and Shuli also felt the pressure from his head instantly. Sure enough, exuding mental power will bring a mental burden. Shuli breathed a sigh of relief, and changed the method of dispersing mental power, from the wide radiating at the beginning to the radiating only targeting the direction of the queen. Sure enough, this saved Shuli a lot of mental energy. Catch the thief first and capture the king first. As long as you kill the queen first, how can this group of low-level ants be the opponent of Queen Medusa? With the assistance of spiritual power, Shuli's confidence increased greatly, and Queen Medusa roared excitedly as if sensing her master's happiness. On the other side, the mental power has gradually approached the queen ant. The second he touched the queen ant, Shuli directly released all the spiritual pressure, allowing the spiritual power to cover the queen ant in a form of wrapping. This time la 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 la. Unprepared, the queen ant was attacked and let out a roar. The pain caused by the mental coercion forced her to rush around. It even dispersed the ant colony in an instant. The worker ants also became confused because they lost the control of the queen. The originally orderly ant colony started to run around after the group had no leader. What's going on? Are these ants crazy? Why did the queen ant kill her own family? Shui Yang, who was rushing back, saw this scene and froze in place. This was the first time he had seen the scene of hundreds of ants fighting. Ling Yan looked at the man and the snake in the middle of the ant colony. He didn't do it, did he? What kind of ability is this? Shui Yang was overjoyed. It doesn't matter what his abilities are, as long as he can save us, that's a good ability. As soon as the words fell, Shuli had already controlled the confused ant queen of the Medusa dynasty to attack. My mental strength is not very strong yet, so it's better to make a quick decision. Queen Medusa raised her head high, spat out the letter, found a good angle, aimed at the wobbly queen, and then shot out with force from the tail. Puff! The snake teeth pierced into the queen ant's body with great accuracy, and the snake venom was also injected into the queen ant's body through the poison gland. This time la 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 la. The ant queen, who was already on the verge of falling, struggled in pain, but Queen Medusa suppressed it firmly, and Shuli did not relax at all, using her mental strength to restrain it. Soon, with a bang, the queen ant knelt on the ground, her abdomen began to swell gradually, and a disgusting green liquid flowed out. Feeling something was wrong, Shuli controlled Queen Medusa to leave the queen and return to her original position. Run! The ant queen is about to explode. From a distance, a woman's voice came over. Shuli looked over. It was the woman who cheated him before. Self-destruct. Shuli hesitated, and did not leave there. This woman is very cunning. Who knows if she is trying to trick him into leaving, and then take advantage of it for herself. After the experience of defeating the gibbon last time, Shuli found that the strange beast was full of treasures, and he was reluctant to give up. However, after Ling Yan said that sentence, he ran away directly, as if something terrible was about to happen. Is it true? Shuli's complexion changed, and he hesitated. Seeing the queen ant's bulging abdomen, Shuli took a visual inspection. If this thing exploded, all the strange beasts in this area would die, let alone humans. Let's run first. After Shuli weighed it up, he still felt that it was more reliable to run first, so he let Queen Medusa take him away. Fortunately, Queen Medusa was big enough and fast enough, so she caught up with Ling Yan and Shui Yang in an instant, and quickly overtook them. This time Shuli didn't mind his own business, just stood firmly on the snake's back and ran away. But Ling Yan and Shui Yang felt a gust of wind blowing around them, and when they opened their eyes again, they only saw the tail of the snake swimming wildly. Well, even if this hero runs away, he is different from others. Shui Yang also released his own beast, a mutated leopard, took Ling Yan to sit on the leopard, and the speed was much faster. That kid should be a special student from a certain school, right? This is too strong. If it were us, we would have no other choice but to run away. Ling Yan rolled his eyes at him. Do you still want to choose when facing the B-level Ant Queen? Do you think you are the one just now? That kid must have other tricks, otherwise the ant colony and Ant Queen just now would not be in chaos. Yes, he is also taking advantage of the weakness of the Queen Ant, otherwise it will be a hard fight. If I had known that there were such freshmen in this year's freshman assessment, I wouldn't have come to participate. Isn't this a self-inflicted humiliation? Shui Yang pursed his lips. Which school do you think he is from? I heard that Lanmu School has recruited an A-level student this year, and the strange beast is also a snake. He can't be right. Who knows, maybe. Stop talking nonsense, let your leopard run faster, or we both have to finish the game. Although he was confident in his heart, Shui Yang did not dare to slack off and let the leopard speed up to the peak state. However, they still failed to catch up with Shu Li's Queen Medusa, and even Queen Medusa gradually disappeared from their sight. Regarding this, Shui Yang changed, and muttered, is such a strong beast really just A-level? Then the gap between A-level and B-level is too big. After running for a while, when Shu Li didn't know where he was, there was a loud noise in the forest, and at the same time, a green rain of blood fell from the sky. Is this the blood of the Queen Ant? Shu Li thought of the green liquid that flowed from the Queen Ant before he ran away. It seemed that Ling Yan didn't play tricks on him this time, and the Queen really blew herself up. It's just a pity. Such a big Ant Queen should have a lot of good things on her body, right? Shu Li regretted it a bit. If he had known earlier, he should have let it die before it blew up, and he had no strength to blow up. System prompt. Congratulations to the host for successfully killing the B4 level Ant Queen. System prompt. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a B1 level Queen Ant Cub. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the blood of the B4 level Ant Queen. The blood of the B4 level Ant Queen can increase the physical fitness of the beast and the host. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the B4 level Giant Ant Stump. Can I still get it? Hearing a series of system messages, Shu Li twitched the corners of his mouth. Is this why you dismantled the Queen Ant and gave it to me? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.